Chapter 341 Stupid Idealism 1000. It's Holy Terra. 3 more. Many gods are paying attention to Chen Mo's actions. At the same time, Lady Luck seemed to have a better impression of him. Because this means that Chen Mo has the willingness to invest resources to operate this star area, rather than blind destruction. At the same time, many aborigines who have no gods are moved one after another, and many homeless people wandering in the temple of the gods are also inquiring about the mother planet of the Guru tribe. Since there is another construction there, do we need to lay hands on it? In short, before the Temple of Heaven transformed a planet, that was a big project. The number of souls needed can be calculated in tens of millions, or even hundreds of millions. If you can go there, serve the slave masters. At first, everyone would not have this idea, but the rumors of Chen Mo are now everywhere in the Temple of Heaven. I don't know whether it was intentional or unintentional, but there are many rumors that Chen Mo will not be exterminated. Therefore, many civilizations that are preparing to flee are prepared to wait and see. What's more, there are rumors that the God of Wisdom is going to run away alone, and the news that Civilization 30 with gods is going to run away alone spread everywhere. Some people also said, these are all done by Chen Mo. Conspiracy. It's a bit like whispering from evil gods, don't believe it. Collectivism is better than individual freedom. In a universe like Dark Forest Lin Yi, it is better to join a powerful civilization. Idealist people have lower IQ, we must change. For a time, rumors spread everywhere. In short, there is everything you can say, and there are people who support all kinds of ideas. On Chen Mo's side, he was always paying attention to the reaction of the Temple of Heaven. Part of the current situation was caused by him deliberately, and part of it was unexpected by him. But I have to say that with the current enemy, this kind of alliance is too easy to disintegrate. The gods will create rumors about me, and I can easily create rumors about them through continuous infiltration. Rumors are not true or false. As long as there are too many rumors, the truth will be drowned. I can also break down their internal alliances and pull some of them to Walmaichen. Especially those races that don't have their own gods. They are attached to the Temple of Heaven, just like the mermaid race back then. There are not a few of them who are talented. 27. I spread the news and gave them hope. There will always be blind people who will not run, or have illusions. It will be good for me to maximize my income next. Chen Mo whispered. Moreover, the benefits of taking refuge in him are actually not many. Although many races who are accustomed to freedom feel scary and not free when they hear this kind of collective thinking and group creatures, but Chen Mo is very clear that this is actually just a different civilization model. If you have to say it, he is even more advanced. In this extremely cold universe, with his model, he can survive to the maximum extent. As the saying goes, if you lose your humanity, you lose a lot. If you lose your bestiality, you lose everything. The same is true for putting it here. Freedom or something, in the face of life and death, is actually far less important than it seems. But in the end, Chen Mo can only make people have this tendency to rely on him. But none of them really took the initiative to seek refuge. Why? Look at the appearance of these legions of your own, and you can understand it very well. No matter how good the bragging is, when they see the true colors of the legion, many people have to call the evil gods, they have been fooled. Well, it's really not very good looking. Unlike Luo Bing's angels, they have big wings, a beautiful face, a small mouth, and the voice of nature. Very good at fooling people. Not long after, Chen Mo took over the planet's harvest and started transporting it back through the portal. As a transit planet, Terra is extremely lively. At the same time, the federal rewards have also arrived. After many rewards, the Federation rewarded Chen Mo again. Several large boxes were teleported over. At the same time, the Bastion also gathered all the legions and sent it again. A brand new living planet of the Temple of Heaven began to be invaded by infection. This time, there wasn't any energy response that erupted into violent conflict. What is there is just the surface of the planet, the creeps that have been raised out of thin air, and the constant explosion of purification halos. However, almost all of these defensive methods researched by the Temple of Heaven are ineffective. Soon, the entire planet, including a whole continent, fell into the hands of Chen Mo. And it only took 10 minutes. This is the spore after evolving the parasitic ability again. Infection control capabilities have reached a whole new level. In the ocean, in the sky, in the depths of the earth, mushroom spores are everywhere. As more and more creatures were infected and controlled, a large number of consciousnesses were affected, and they began to shout, "Great divine will." Chen Mo can feel aggressively that his own strength is constantly increasing, and his consciousness has reached an unprecedented height. His astral world accommodated trillions of living beings. When the consciousness of all living beings gathers together, the divine will is extremely powerful. The star soul will be immortal soon. Master, through this battle, all the materials needed for 100 portals have just been prepared. Do you want to send them there immediately, and at the same time send engineers to help those girls build the portal? At this time, after the spoils were counted, Ash asked. Chen Mo nodded in agreement. These portals must be registered and filed according to the different personnel they belong to. Remember to set the portals to transfer mode. No matter where you go, you must first come to Terra before you can go elsewhere. In addition, I have the maximum authority of the portal, the owner of the planet, and only have the right to use it. Follow your will, Master. Ash spoke. War Zone Channel. Returning after a visit with 100 girls. Become very lively. A lot of people 250 are discussing the things caused by Chen Mo's aggressive expansion. In addition to the interior of the Star Soul world, it also includes the direction of the Temple of Heaven. Although there is no federal announcement this time, everyone knows that Chen Mo's current situation is like entering a no man's land. For a while, the noisy War Zone channel suddenly quieted down. Everyone is drawn to video content. Forget about the Temple of Heaven. After all, they are just stronger natives. But why so many goddesses follow Chen Mo, I never expected. Breaking the defense, brothers, I knelt and licked the goddess for several years, and let Chen Mo go in. I found that everyone misunderstood, so I hurriedly finished this article. What kind of contract is it? I'm curious. It allows the construction of a portal. Isn't this equivalent to a garrison? Big brother Chen Mo is too strong. Occupy several planets in one day. What the hell? Alas, this further shows that Mr. Chen Mo has a lot of resources at hand, and we have worked so hard. Even the leftovers left by others are not as attractive. Hey, you might as well not say it. This news is even more exciting. Go into her planet, build a portal, and station engineers to maintain it. FK, it's the interior scene of Holy Terra. I can't even think about it. Look, everyone, someone posted a video. Quote ? Breaking news. Envy, jealousy and hatred all disappeared. Chapter 342 Shark. This is so fast becoming an evil god. Chen Banbi. 4 more. I got in touch with Mr. Chen Mo, excited. I would like to call it the Little Star Soul World. Holy Terra, Holy Light, Holy Will, Holy Knowledge. I went there, and I feel that my soul has been purified. A must-see for newcomers, Chen Mo's planet, A. Posts appeared in the newcomer area one by one. In these posts, Chen Mo's planet is extremely beautiful. And his legion is totally a demon, an angel. Garden world class. There are all kinds of beautiful creatures on the surface, powerful transformation energy, the portal that is already in constant operation, and the channel that is permanently connected to the world of Star Soul. For a moment, everyone was stunned. FK, you have to watch Chen Mo to make a living. Shish, boss Chen Mo showed such a handsome face earlier, I'll follow right away. Oh my god, let's forget about the hundreds of millions of legions sweeping the heavenly god temple. Is this wave planning to sweep and conquer the entire group of newcomers and goddesses alone? It's not impossible. Chen Mo is a role model for my generation, too strong. FK, how many of the top 1,000 girls have entered Chen Mo's planetary upgrade system? Many of the top 100 belong to consortiums, that is to say, Chen Mo has already wiped out all ordinary geniuses. Ordinary. Do you really think that the 1,000th place is worse than the 100th place? Get rid of the financial support behind them, and you will find that the 1,000th place might be stronger. It can only be said that Mr. Chen Mo is too attractive. The queens of the snake human tribe have to rely on them, and it is impossible for them not to be strong. I received news that the Grey Steel Spear seems to be disbanding, and only one of the people in it has been selected by the Grey Steel Consortium and is ready to recruit. I'm sorry, this is too miserable. In the past, this was the most interesting alliance. The invitation of Grey Steel is what many people dream of. Ah, you don't have all the information. The only one who was selected, watched Chen Mo's video, and regretted it on the spot, and would rather pay a large amount of default funds than hang out with Chen Mo. Haha, the Grey Steel Consortium is going to die. Bullshit, it's just that the tribe of geniuses supported by a few local tyrants is still there. How can a giant like Grey Steel not be able to do it? They just don't bother to fight with Chen Mo. They can take any resources and beat Chen Mo. Indeed, there are only a few geniuses in the area, and people really don't necessarily like it. This is just to save face for Chen Mo. Tisk tisk, Chen Mo's face is really great. Chen Mo is being discussed on the War Zone channel, the newcomer zone, and even in many small circles. If it was before, it was just various leaderboards, various rumors, and various battlefield videos. Now, it's the main planet who directly slaps his face. True luxury, a lot of wealth. It can be said that Chen Mo has become popular at this time. Many star gods even noticed Chen Mo and started asking others about it. And the one who gets the most inquiries is Chen Mo's recognized partner and only friend. For a while, Luo Bing's communication channels were blown up, and they couldn't be used normally at all. The number of people applying to join the Chen Mo supporting group also skyrocketed again. Many star soul lords were moved and started calling. They have condensed their star souls and are much stronger than ordinary rookies, but they have been unable to make further progress due to their average talent or background. Seeing that Chen Mo has a channel here, they are all moved. Even though they knew that Chen Mo might not accept them, many people couldn't bear it and sent out their profiles. After all, the above did not say that only newcomers are required. The Lords of the Silent Star Soul are here. Luo Bing looked at the resume that the secretary worked overtime to sort out, and couldn't help but feel a headache. No one would really want this kind of person except to participate in the great expedition. The consortium and the star gods only accept geniuses, who would waste resources on these very ordinary people. But save your resume for now. She hesitated for a moment, but still ordered. Ask Chen Mo, then make a decision. The theater channel, the discussion about Chen Mo, is still going on. The Temple of Heaven is definitely going to make a big move. Indeed, the other party gave up too many planets, and I picked up one for nothing, feeling a little uneasy in my heart. HMPH, it's nothing more than trying to lure the enemy to go deep. Our star soul world is so big, I'm afraid it won't be able to bear it. Tell everyone a trick. If you want to know the next move of Tianshan Temple, just stare at Chen Mo. As long as Chen Mo's starship is okay, we'll be absolutely fine. It's really Chen Mo, who attacked more than half of us. Just attacking us, it's useless at all. Hey, Chen Mo is finally here for nothing, Shu Tan. Talk about the more than 100 gods in the Temple of Heaven, and many of them we haven't seen before. It is said that there are also mysterious weapons. With such terrifying strength, Chen Mo is not afraid by himself. I see that Chen Mo's battle line is very long. After occupying a planet, he will immediately drop one. Is there really no need to defend? What's even more outrageous is, haven't you noticed that the planet occupied by Mr. Chen Mo started construction immediately? This is still a war zone, why don't you hurry up like this? People who don't know think that they are rushing to pick up money. If so many resources are invested in it, if the gods of the Tianshan Temple run over it, it will all be in vain. Don't force me, you guys say that every time. I'll just say one thing, if Mr. Chen Mo doesn't have self-confidence, how dare he do this? There must be traitors inside the Temple of Heaven, and the level is not low, every time they are delivering food to Chen Mo boss. Let's not talk about the Temple of God, this year's newcomers. In this war zone, there are not many good people, they are all money-losing boys. When it comes to delivering food, it's very annoying. All of a sudden, this complaint resonated with many people. Especially a large number of newcomers. They watched Chen Mo grow up step by step, so Wang Yifeng, Huang Jia and others were pulled out and whipped the corpse again. Wouldn't it be these idiots who could raise such a big shark? Shark, this is amazing. Everyone complained wildly. At the same time, they are also fortunate that Chen Mo's current strength has no direct relationship with them and does not affect their interests. On the contrary, those consortiums who sent Chen Mo up, as well as the children of local tyrants, deserve the headache. The large amount of profits that Chen Mo is getting now were originally divided among the top 100 consortium geniuses. But now, it is almost monopolized by Mo. Someone, good job, has done statistics. This year's newcomer trading area, the total shipments have created history. Reached a staggering trillion levels. An increase of almost 30% over last year. However, is this year's rookie, the first in average level in history, the strongest. No, if Chen Mo's score is excluded, the data will be very ugly, and it will directly drop to the lowest in the history. 50% lower than last year, almost cut in half. That is to say, this year Chen Mo, with his own strength, has increased the sales volume of the entire newcomer area by 30%. But, on the other hand, he alone not only ate the increase, but also ate 50% of the part that originally belonged to everyone. This is an extremely terrifying value. Anyone who knows this detailed data will be dumbfounded. Against Chen Mo, that's really not as good as others when everyone stacks up. In terms of trading volume alone, they account for half of the newcomer trading platform. It's really half the world. Chapter 343 Infection Frenzy. Being prostituted by the Lord of Million Star Souls. 5 more. Temple of Heaven. The palace of the God of Wisdom, where all the gods gather at this time. Compared with before, the mental state of the gods is much better this time, and many of them even have a tendency to break through. There are also a few unfamiliar faces. If someone arrives at the core area of the Tiantian Temple at this time, they will find that there are many warships here, and the overwhelming spiritual energy fluctuations will make people feel terrified just by looking at it. Here, at this time, is already an extraordinary world. The power of the gods oscillates between the orbits, constantly producing various wonders. Apparently, their plans are set. And it looks like a lot of confidence. At this time, a person wearing golden dragon scales sitting next to the goddess of fortune spoke slowly, and the sound spread to the entire planet. Don't look at the battle lines. We seem to have suffered a loss on the front line, but we are here to take back our fists and strike harder. Some people say that the Temple of Heaven is afraid of those slave owners, some people say that our gods will give up their belief in their own creatures, and some people say that Chen Mo is already invincible and no one dares to do anything to him. But you are all wrong. As his old opponent, I am very responsible to say that the opponent is strong, but not invincible. As long as we are prepared, we can easily crush the opponent. 253 inches this time, Chen Mo will definitely lose. I'm going to eat him alive. Chow down on his bones one by one. Slave owners are not easy to mess with, but who are we? We are gods. God, each one is the ultimate power in the world, powerful, unique, and even eternal. Above all living beings. Let's all cheer up. No one can mess with us without paying anything. 7 inches. In an instant, with the roar of the dragon god. The eyes of all the gods in the entire Tiantian temple exuded excitement. They have endured Chen Mo for a long time. This time, they are led by the dragon god, the goddess of luck, and supported by the equipment of the god of wisdom. This time I was well prepared. Everyone is very confident. In the face of shameless slave owners, as long as they hurt them and cramp their skin, they will know what it means not to dare to provoke the gods at will. They are not natives who know nothing. Strategies, tactics, and even powerful knowledge like Requiem, they all have it. As the time goes, Chen Mo is occupying more and more areas. Led by the bastion, against the dark sky, it resisted countless attacks, and the portal in it could send countless troops. Not to mention, stretching out the substance-absorbing tentacles, of course making the planet boil and pregnant, bursting out countless mushrooms. After occupying the star sector notified by the grunts, the bastion made a turnaround and headed to another star sector. During this period, angels joined Zon through the portal. This makes the whole legion more complex. At first glance, it was noisy, but under the control of the biological mastermind, the entire army was like a whole. Chaos in parts, order in the whole. In addition to the main force of the bastion, Chen Mo also began to spread the infection in many areas of the Temple of Heaven that were not suppressed by the gods. A terrifying, cursed plague broke out in 13 star regions at the same time. And these are all going on silently. Not many people know about the Temple of Heaven. As for the Heavenly God Temple battle zone in the Star Soul world, no one knows. Chen Mo is sweeping all the way and is making great strides. Infections invade planet after planet. All souls, under the frenzy of infection, joined the glorious evolution. There is no second choice. Soon, another day passed. In just one day, Chen Mo's light and dark armies occupied more than 5 living planets. There are as many as 10 mineral planets. The consciousness harvested by him to join the star realm is as many as 3 billion. All kinds of equipment and ores are countless. The Snake Clan elites dispatched by Chen Mo cooperate with this technological overlord, and also begin to collect knowledge of various planet-die races. The Snake Clan was originally the power of the Temple of Heaven, and they were familiar with it. And under the cooperation of Femiris, the goddess of luck, the locations Chen Mo attacked were all the weak points of the Temple of Heaven, and the resources were extremely rich. That's right, thin skin and lots of stuffing. The most fertile and weakest defensive places were all bidden by Chen Mo. On the spot, these operations also put the Temple of Heaven in a hurry. As a result, they had no choice but to speed up their actions. In the past few days, the god of wisdom has hemorrhaged a lot and distributed a lot of resources to help the rest of the gods. The purpose is to let them cooperate with the goddess of luck and the dragon god. Form a stable team of gods that can kill with one blow. So far, Chenmo has 26 living planets. Mineral planet more. Therefore, he has given up naming these planets. On the attribute panel, they are all named after number 1 and number 2. Of course, the planet governors sent by each planet are still very happy to name the planets they manage. Divine, great, evolution, will, and so on vocabulary, is everybody likes to use most. For those who don't know, as soon as they see the names of these planets, 2 words will appear in their minds: loyalty. It is different from the appearance that everyone in the Star Soul world sees. Once these planets fall into Chenmo's hands, no one else can take them back. Because the spores have fallen on the planet, penetrating into every genetic chain. Unless the entire planet is burned into glass balls. And that is exactly what Chenmo wants. He is waiting for the goddess of luck to lead the army of gods to come. By the way, there is also the dragon god. Let's solve it together. And as time goes by, after the portal is built soon, Chenmo can give the planet unlimited support at any time. After a little delay, the bastion will come. It can be said that it is very safe, and every occupied planet will be a part of the Holy Terra. It's like the world of Star Soul, constantly annexing and occupying worlds one by one. Chenmo repeats this process in a smaller area. Now, the only question for Chenmo is how to occupy the most places. Yes, as he continued to force, he compressed the main army of the Temple of Heaven. The Temple of Heaven began to abandon many unimportant star sectors. And these are all money. It was picked up by the rest of the Star Soul world for nothing. Although he took the fattest piece. This feeling of charging ahead and others following to pick up trash. The thought of being prostituted for nothing made me feel uncomfortable. This point, Chenmo did not expect at the beginning. Looking back now, it's outrageous. At least millions of Star Soul Masters are following for nothing. Chapter 344 Star Level Purification Battleship. See you, God of Light. One more. It seems that being famous is not all good. Chenmo couldn't help being speechless. Of course, this is just a little trouble. Compared with the benefits he obtained as a result, it is insignificant. And this situation is not impossible for him to take advantage of. After the battle of the day before yesterday and yesterday, Chenmo's army has eliminated at least tens of millions of elites of the Tianshan Dian army. And his own legion, with the continuous growth and incubation, has reached 30 giants. On an average day, the number of legions expands by 100 million. If there is a big war, it can skyrocket by 500 to 100 million in an instant. This situation makes the Temple of Heaven feel like an enemy to me. In turn, let everyone in the Star Soul world feel at ease to pick up trash. The more I attract the attention of the Heavenly God Temple, the less power in other areas can fight against the Star Soul world. In this case, I actually occupy less territory. From the originally estimated 80%, it has been directly reduced to less than 40%. Although the best planets, Chenmo takes priority. And only he has the right of first choice. However, there are a lot of these remaining, and they add up to a large amount of wealth. It would be too much of a disadvantage if they were all given up to others, and they didn't even bother to make any effort. Seeing that my side is attacking, they will attack, chicken thief. It would be great if I could occupy most of the places, no one will grab me, and the Temple of Heaven should not keep targeting. Chenmo mulls over this possibility. The property of the Temple of Heaven is very important to him. After becoming a star god, this galaxy will become his base camp, which can provide him with continuous help. If this galaxy is cut and I only occupy a part of it, Zhongsan is on the left and Lisi is on the right, how can I manage the galaxy as a whole? Can't do it at all. Not to mention business operations, even defense takes a lot of effort. And being divided, forcing him to build portals on every planet, it's all money. Just like now, his planets are far apart. If they can finally gather together, arrange the planets according to their own ideas, and form a galaxy fortress. All in all, these would require a roughly complete galaxy. In the area of AA Tianshan Temple, he is determined to be there. Can't let regional people occupy too much space. Even if it does not occupy the core area of AA the Temple of Heaven for the time being, it must occupy all the edges and maintain a large area. Anyway, if the rest of the people go to the fatter places, they will be beaten to shame instead. Master, we may let Lady Luck take action. We have information on our side, and we don't need to kill the Lord of Star Soul. Just teach them some lessons and tell them not to follow. Aside, Lan said, the Great Master will talk to her about anything, and she will naturally find a way to solve problems. From her point of view, apart from the Master, the Star Soul world has nothing to do with her. If it were her, all the others would be killed. No, Chen Mo shook his head. He is now the biggest beneficiary of following the rules, and the rest are afraid to do anything to him due to the rules of the game specified by the Federation. He turned himself now, the first broken rule. Isn't this brain flooding? The way the natives fight and kill is too simple and rude in the Star Soul world competition. Moreover, this kind of act of collaborating with the enemy and betraying the interests of the Star Soul world is very dangerous. Maybe the Court of Justice will come to the door tomorrow. At that time, even the Queen of Ice would not talk to him anymore. Li Po was so arrogant, he really wanted to overwhelm him, but he didn't dare to reveal the information to the Temple of Heaven. At most, he dared to gloat from the sidelines. This is the rule of the Star Soul world. You can watch the fire from the other side, but if you dare to unite with foreign enemies, you will be dealt with immediately. In fact, this can be regarded as the cornerstone for the Star Soul world to be strong to the present. Without this layer of guaranteed trust, all other cooperation and alliances are just floating clouds. Master, didn't you let someone study the Tiberium or planet? You want to transform it into a second star-class warship. Isn't that warship using high radiation energy to distort and change flesh and blood? If it can be combined with the current purification ability, wouldn't we be able to create a purification spaceship? Wherever the light passes, all the gods will join in the glorious evolution. Oran used his brain again and said, well, that's a good idea. Chen Mo nodded. The purification that Oran said was actually a mutant cannon. If you can combine parasitic and radiation energy, you can indeed achieve the effect that Oran said, and it is even more efficient than any previous weapons. Like a requiem, a beam of light hit the planet, and then all the creatures on the planet were mutated and infected, and then replaced the neural network and connected to the divine will network. After this wave of operations, the original process of Chen Mo's attack, occupation, and infection was greatly shortened, and all of them were concentrated in one torch. One shot into the soul. Of course, the planet has not yet been transformed. The evolutionary ability of the mutant cannon to combine more radiation energy for infection has not yet appeared. It is still a bit too far to say these now. Shaking his head, Chen Mo stopped thinking about these things and came up with a pragmatic approach. After thinking about it, he decided to launch an infection. An infection that spread to the entire Temple of Heaven. Yes, after evolving the parasitic ability to the extreme and lighting up the technology tree of the path of energy infection, the infection ability of mushrooms is already extremely terrifying. In close range, even if it is a god, if you are not careful, the flesh will be infected. Of course, many gods are already in an energy state, and they can resist immunity to the usual flesh and blood infection. After all, matter can affect virtuality, but consciousness can also interfere with reality. Gods have the ability to interfere with reality. It is very difficult to affect their consciousness through infection. But it doesn't matter, Chen Mo's target is not the gods, but those creatures who are too ordinary. Infecting them, with the current parasitic spores, is a dimensionality reduction blow. As long as one spore falls on the planet, then this planet belongs to Chen Mo. That sounds easy enough. But it is not easy to reach every planet. After all, you can't expect a spore to fly to a planet by itself. You have at least one battleship, the kind that can be folded. And such a battleship may not be successful, because you need to be close to the planet, or close to the enemy, to infect. But often, a ship is beaten to ashes as soon as it appears. So at least a fleet is needed. After a circle, it returned to Chen Mo's current army mode. While Chen Mo was pondering this question, Mu Yao received news. The veteran Star Soul powerhouse Li Potuo contacted me, saying that his eyeliner in the Temple of Heaven, the God of Light, wants to contact you. It's very urgent, but without your friend, you didn't reply to the private message. Okay, God of Light, this is a powerful god with a great voice. Speaking of which, he wanted to contact the other party before, but unexpectedly, the other party came to him in the end. He is this urgent. If you are lucky, if you contacted before, maybe you will be benefited by the other party. But now, Chen Mo couldn't help but feel happy. If the God of Light is willing to cooperate, mobilize personnel, and artificially spread the infection, it will be easy to do the above, and it will be invisible, perfectly bypassing the God of Wisdom and Lady Luck. Chapter 345, Envious of the Jealous and Hateful God of Light. The next time we meet, it will be Star God. 2 more. Is Your Excellency Chen Mo, the Star Soul Powerhouse. I am the God of Light from the Temple of Heaven. After talking politely to Li Po and asking him to set up a communication network, Chen Mo ignored him. Instead, he immediately contacted the God of Light. The God of Light looked impatient. If it weren't for the light curtain, maybe the other party would have to show off the strength of their high-level gods. But even if you just look at the scenery, you can see the splendor of the palace where he is. Huge energy fluctuations continuously gushed out from a sun-like device, and then spread to the entire world. Master, this is planet transformation technology, which is somewhat similar to Neser's core technology. Aside, Lanmo remained silent, but his voice was transmitted to Chen Mo's brain master through the consciousness network. Okay, Chen Mo speculated. Didn't the artifacts of the sun god have similar characteristics last time? Maybe. 350, and the god of wisdom belonged to the same faction at the beginning, or they were the first batch. He got rich by digging the grave of the goddess of fortune. Talking to Oran in his heart, Chen Mo answered the sun god again. It's me. The voice fell into a brief silence. The god of light looked at Chen Mo in shock. The other party was in a beautiful manner, but it was completely different from Li Po's aggressive aura and extremely luxurious palace. But the woman standing next to the other party, it can be said that the force is completely higher than Li Po. Snake Queen, look at this. Could it be that the other party has become a confidant? How is it possible, such a short time? Could it be that the other party is short of manpower? That's not right. The opponent's army is more than hundreds of millions. Damn it, if I found out earlier, maybe I would be the one standing aside. Why would there be so many troubles now? Various thoughts flashed through Guangming God's mind. For a god like him who has milk and is a mother, the status of the snake human Queen Oran is what he wants most. Backed by a talented slave owner, although there will be some sharing in the future, it is definitely better than being in the Temple of Heaven up. More importantly, he could see the flickering light, a trace of hatred, and the slightly raised chin in the eyes of the snake human queen. All foreshadows free will. The other party has a mind of his own. And Chen Mo treats her very well, and can even express her own thoughts at this moment. Envy, jealousy, hauteur. The god of light looked greedy, but he could only continue to speak expressionlessly. Great strong man, I have also had some transactions with Li Po in your camp. I think he has already told you, right? There is a new basis for cooperation between us. I, the God of Light, is inspired by Godhead, and I am trustworthy. I've actually looked forward to this conversation, looking straight ahead. After finishing speaking, the God of Light looked at Chen Mo. The other party just popped out 2 words, and he was a little confused. According to Li Po, he should be very popular. In fact, since the day before yesterday, he has been actively trying to find a way to contact Chen Mo. But I don't know why. My luck is always bad, and I passed the opponent's minions several times, without success. Okay, a few days. Chen Mo narrowed his eyes slightly. He hurriedly asked why, and immediately learned that it was because of various reasons that he was always unable to be contacted. Bad luck. For a moment, a person, Lady Luck, immediately appeared in Chen Mo's mind. It seems that the other party has not thought of this. Not only thought of it, but also made protection. Affecting the probability of things happening is really a terrifying ability. This ability also interferes with reality, but it is somewhat different from Chen Mo's. Somewhat similar to causal weapons. What the other party does not want to happen is always difficult to happen. But eventually it happened. This is thanks to myself. I thought of this matter. If I don't take the initiative to find the God of Light, there is a high probability that the other party will never be able to contact me. It can actually be seen from this that the best way to deal with Lady Luck is to take the initiative. Sitting in the office, Muyao, the mother star of the Star Soul world, felt a burst of emotion. Unknowingly, even the veteran Star Soul powerhouses have asked to come to Chen Mo. More importantly, you can't ask for it. I still found the Grey Steel Consortium first, Fang, and then found her here. She wouldn't have introduced it if she hadn't considered the massive cooperation with the Grey Steel Consortium. How strong is Chen Mo now? She was a little curious and asked Li Po. What? Li Po was taken aback. The beauty asked him, and he was curious too. Besides, isn't the other party Chen Mo's confidant? At least better than yourself, right? He is a little uncertain. Is this beauty showing off, or testing him for Chen Mo? 0. But after thinking about the process of Chen Mo's rise, he felt that he could understand it. After all, the opponent's speed is too fast. Mu Yao's question is so strong, it means that at this moment, the answer may be different in the next minute. Very strong. I'm definitely not as good as Chen Mo. In fact, the god of light who really sought cooperation just now is a high-level god, and his civilization is as high as level 3. I'm not sure I can beat him. Even such a strong man will fall under Chen Mo's command. In short, you will probably know in a few days, Chen Mo has another dog. Li Po said with some envy. The god of light, it's not that he doesn't want to be under his command. As long as he advances to Star God and subdues 1 or 2 gods, it won't affect the purity of Star Soul. With a god under his command, the compulsion is much higher. But Chen Mo can do it now. The previous snake human queen has already proved that the opponent has this strength. It's just that he has been unable to figure out one thing, how to ensure absolute loyalty. Very curious. But having said that, Ms. Mu Yao is also extremely outstanding, otherwise how could she be valued by Chen Mo and become a close partner? I also have a lot of acquaintances in Shanghai City. If Miss Mu Yao needs help, you can contact me at any time. For Chen Mo, I hope you can give me some kind words. Hee. In a few days, Chen Mo will be promoted to Star Soul Powerhouse, and I will also call you Your Excellency Mu Yao. Then you are busy first, and I won't bother you. Li Po made a good joke, then hung up the communication after 2.9, and was busy grabbing the territory. Now is the time for Chen Mo to attract firepower. Although he can't grab good ones, he can get a lot of rubbish ones, so it's not a problem. And what kind of thing the god of light is, he knows very well that the other party dares to sell anything, and his brain is not as good as that of Lady Luck. He estimated that the situation of the war would change sooner. At that time, it must be the time for Chen Mo to make a big attack. And he has to quickly contact his hands and prepare to act. At that time, if you can't compete for the first place, you can be the second. After hearing Li Po's words, Mu Yao was shocked. I haven't understood for a few days, Chen Mo is so powerful. But the next time you contact me, you will already be a Star Soul powerhouse. This is a bit exaggerated. This Li Po is also a person who likes to exaggerate. Chapter 346, The Secret of Time. The Disaster of the Universe, the Devourer of Dimensions. 3 more. Mighty Lord of the Star Soul, I am loyal to you. Can I really gain the protection of the Star Soul world? After some chatting, the god of light couldn't hold back at first. Chen Mo showed him his own strength, and even more so, the strength of the Star Soul world. Of course, he does not need to show these. As a god, he has eyes. What's more frightening is that he knew the harm of consciousness disturbance. Not only disturbing ordinary people below demigods, but also giving birth to ancient gods. It's unbelievable. Wouldn't it be that one day in the future, the entire universe will dance with demons? The god of light was a little confused, and everyone was frightened. Lady Luck turned out to be an ancient god. But he clearly remembered. The distant memories were gradually connected together. Sure enough, the goddess of luck was gradually changing, ever since she gained that power. A god, before them, was gradually replaced by erosion. He couldn't help feeling the creeps. The Star Soul world is extremely powerful. As long as I don't perish, you will never die. I think you can know this by looking at the state of the snake human Queen Alan. Of course, God 30 spirits, that's the end of evolution. You have your own ideas, wandering, doubts and surrender, or confrontation, all are free. Chen Mo said. Obviously, the god of light has been shaken after he showed the star realm. He pays almost nothing but loyalty. It's understandable that some people can't accept this. But for some people, it doesn't matter. Once they accept it, it will be boundless happiness. Besides, not everyone has a home planet. The home star of the god of light is very huge, and it is very difficult to escape. Chen Mo discussed with the god of light, gave the other party a guarantee to accept the other party's race, and then drew up a personnel transfer plan to spread the infection, and then terminated the communication. The communication has just ended. The doppelganger of Lady Luck has come to visit again. The other party's face is very bad. You do not believe me. She spoke directly. The heaving chest, and the smell of sweat, mixed and drifted away. I have to say that although the other party left in a hurry, she deserves to be a true goddess. This gesture, on the contrary, made the snake girls around them all addicted. I want to post. Of course I believe you, but can't I have other plans? It doesn't seem to have anything to do with you, does it? Chen Mo asked back. At the same time, I was secretly surprised that this goddess of luck really had a few tricks, and she had a feeling immediately after her luck was broken. Does she have unique knowledge about destiny? Or is it a detection device like the law of causality? Lady Luck was at a loss for words. The Temple of Heaven can't be destroyed too quickly, at least the original core of Nesser must be cracked by the God of Wisdom. He has been studying for hundreds of years. If he can't, I can't believe that who else can. Quote, I need this device to awaken the former power and open a new cosmic channel. This is very important, it is related to the safety of the entire universe. What? Chen Mo was taken aback. He thought that Lady Luck would try to persuade him in various ways, but he never expected this reason. Sorry, I'm past the second year of middle school to save the world. Chen Mo said. What kind of reason is this? Is it too cliche copyright? But I feel that Lady Luck is not so mentally handicapped, and would make up such a weird reason. To tell you the truth, I am not from this universe. I come from another multidimensional universe. My race is called Coda, which is a top-level 4 civilization. You can also call us Protoss. Our multidimensional universe has been attacked by some horrible life forms. Forget it, you don't understand even if I tell you. In short, I have extracted a lot of memories from the past consciousness fluctuations, and these memories are enough for me to have a full understanding of the present, this poor world of bubbles. The monsters that destroy the universe one by one are coming soon. I predict that it will only take about 900 years. The ending was pessimistic. At this moment, Goddess Luck's breathing had calmed down. Only then did he realize that he seemed to be too excited and was too close to Chen Mo. The breath he exhaled sprayed on Chen Mo's face. She couldn't help but coughed dryly and stepped back. 2 steps. 900 years. That time is still long, don't worry. Chen Mo couldn't help but smiled and said. But after thinking of a close value, he couldn't help but feel a little bit in his heart. Wait, how long has the time on the property panel been? It seems to be 990. Chen Mo glanced at it, and his whole heart went cold. Looking at it now, the number there has suddenly changed to 900. I don't know when it suddenly decreased by 90. It is exactly the same as the value that Lady Luck said. What the hell? This time, Chen Mo's face really changed. Even Lady Luck could see it clearly. How is it? Your Star Soul world is also a very powerful world. At this moment, you should be vaguely aware of it. Our Star Soul world has its own background, and I will find someone to verify what you said. All I know is that they come from a heat-dead universe on the verge of 43's destruction, where everything expands to its limit, constantly collapses into white dwarfs, and then black holes, which are almost extinguished. It's also too boring. Looks like a shivering rabbit. When the time comes, there is only one way to go to destroy this world. Before that, we must accumulate enough materials and leave before they arrive. Chen Mo couldn't help frowning. P.S. Continue to the last chapter of the previous book, When the Stars Shine. They devour everything, space, time, and even the dimension itself. Everything is turned into their energy for further expansion. At the same time, Chen Mo was also somewhat certain that this matter might have something to do with him. Escape. Chen Mo's face darkened. If you want to know the time on the attribute panel, and what you have traveled through, you must face this so-called dimension devourer. It seems that he has forgotten that he is a god. At the same time, he asked, is there any more information about the race that destroyed the universe? Anyway, pretty scary. However, it is precisely because of this hell-like environment that this terrible race was created. Lady Luck spoke, with fear flashing in her eyes. In that case, you might as well be dead. Continuously collect resources and restore strength. Are you running away for the next time? Chapter 347 Comrades. Give you a ticket for a dimensional warship. 4 more. If not, do you know how it feels when 10 level 4 civilizations join forces and can't last 10 million years? Our people have been scattered and fled to different universes. Your world is fighting on its own. You can't even find a single person who can unite the entire civilization of the universe. Or, do you think the Star Soul world is very strong? Now that the words have been spoken, Lady Luck is not polite, and said directly, that's it. Vulnerable. It's impossible to retreat without a fight. Star Soul world will never agree. Chen Mo said. And he felt that things were not that simple. He would not think that what Lady Luck said was true just because of a coincidence of a number. Even if it is true, the other party may have concealed key information. You must know that for the same thing, only part of it is said, and the whole thing is procrastinated, and the feeling may be completely different. Besides, is it possible for ordinary people to escape from the universe? Even Lady Luck herself has to rely on the infinite energy of Nesser's core to open the channel. Chen Mo has nowhere to run. I know you won't agree. The goddess of luck said. This universe is much stronger than ours, and there are more fourth-level civilizations, but none of you have reached the peak level, and you are even more hostile to each other. Even if you sense danger, you can't unite. Just like the current Temple of Heaven. Everyone is thinking, if it doesn't work, they will break up. Quote. Those who have a way out will not care about a fish soup that is about to dry up. Imagine the great gods in your star soul world. They have evolved wings long ago. They flapped their wings, flew to the next fish pond, and then waited for the devourer of dimensions to come, being driven away. But every time, you can live a good time for tens of millions of years, or even hundreds of millions of years, can't you? Dimensional wars are far more cruel than you imagined. I can guarantee that you new civilizations will be absolutely terrified. It's not like it is now, eager to try, calling other civilizations indigenous, and still playing the game of buying and selling knowledge. Chen Mo. Really? Chen Mo couldn't refute this time. Fortunately, the Star Soul world is already a model of civilization, and it can be called a model of unity. But if you put this unity on the scale between civilization and civilization, then you can't look at it. It's just a mess of sand. Everyone agrees that the universe is dark and cold, and so is the fact. The reality is forcing everyone, so there is no time to pay attention to unity. Is it normal for big fish to eat small fish? Moreover, since the rise of the Star Soul world, it has never encountered a single defeat. Everyone feels that the Star Soul world is invincible. In this case, cooperation. Don't be ridiculous, Chen Mo is different, and there are racial characteristics in it. The rest of the people didn't have such an idea at all. Everyone regards the extermination of other races as the first choice. If you don't see it with your own eyes, but just listen to what Lady Luck says, no one will think it's a big deal. Isn't it just another powerful civilization? Also the Dimension Devourer, they are also cosmic locusts themselves. How do you know who is better if you don't try? What do you mean by telling me this? I'm not the helm of civilization. It's not up to me, a small person, to decide where this big ship will go. Chen Mo doesn't intend to get entangled in the issue of strength. This void PK is meaningless. Lady Luck just wanted to win him over so that he could get Nesser's core. Nothing interesting, I just told you not to embarrass me anymore. I finally resurrected and regained some strength. After hundreds of years, we might all have to be a boat to run away. At that time, even if it is a comrade in arms. There's no need to do things absolutely right. If you raise your hand high now, it is considered as investing in me in advance. Quote. At that time, there will be a ticket for you on the dimensional warship. Lady Luck put away her serious look, smiled and said. Well, it turns out that Nesser's core is the engine of the dimensional battleship. Chen Mo couldn't help muttering in his heart. But there is no evidence to say, what happened hundreds of years later, is it selling boat tickets here now? Nesser got the core, he can also build a dimensional battleship himself, as long as the... As soon as Chen Mo had the idea of AA infection and control of Goddess of Luck, he saw the other party's bright eyes, staring at him. Ahem. A boat ticket, it's too long for you to cash it out, so let's get something real. Chen Mo said. The truth is, I will cooperate with you without the God of Light in this operation. Don't be so anxious. We have to confirm that the God of Wisdom has already entered the set. What do you say, my comrade in arms? Don't talk about the relationship, you and I are not comrades in arms. Chen Mo frowned. Oh, yes, I'm on your body. I feel it. As she said that, Lady Luck approached, and the tip of her nose moved to Chen Mo's side, twitching slightly. A familiar smell, a breath that does not belong to this world. Hee. Chen Mo smiled on his face, but felt a pity in his heart. He didn't know the location of the Goddess of Luck, or he would kill her directly. Sure enough, none of these ancient gods was easy to mess with. The source is dead but not stiff. This Goddess of Luck almost saw through her biggest secret. But now, Chen Mo's foundation in the Star Soul world is already quite strong. Don't make a big deal about the time traveler or something, and it is impossible to be hammered by the stone. After all, He was recognized by the laws of the Star Soul world. It seems that you have some means to see through fate or the future, so let me ask you, what is the specific time when the Dimension Devourer will arrive? Chen Mo thought for a while and asked again. At the same time, he looked at his property panel. The above time, with a slight jump, actually returned to the time of 991. Ascending for 1 year, could it be said that the civilization of Wen Li's in this universe has started to act? Femiris, goddess of luck. Time is constantly changing, and I can't make an accurate judgment. I can only tell you that this time should be between 900 and 1000 years, but it may suddenly take a turn for the worse. It depends on our time. The heads of the universe, how do you deal with it? With our current strength, I'm afraid we won't be able to get in touch with these. But whenever my luck keeps getting worse, I know that those devourers are coming to an end. I haven't had much luck lately. However, you seem to be a very suitable candidate to fight against the Dimension Devourer. If everyone in the universe chooses you as the child of destiny, you will become the destiny of the entire universe. Speaking of this, Femilis herself laughed. This is obviously impossible. In fact, although Chen Mo is an extremely terrifying genius, it is extremely difficult to get mixed up with the main god of the Star Soul world, let alone have influence in the entire universe. Chapter 348 Selling Boat Tickets. Then it's not too much for my savior to sell a conferred god seat. One more. Good idea, I will be the savior from now on. Chen Mo couldn't help grinning, and said, you see, since I'm the savior, you still have the nerve to charge me for the boat ticket. As long as I win, it doesn't matter whether you build the boat or not. So why don't you invest these resources in me? When the time comes for me to establish a cosmic dynasty and become a god, there will definitely be a seat for you. Femiris' words did not make Chen Mo excited. Things in the future are constantly changing, and the Star Soul world is not without big bosses who can predict the future. Why don't people find him? It's not because, in the future, that's just an event that hasn't been determined yet. The will interferes with reality, that's not what it says. In short, just listen to the words of Femiris, the goddess of luck, and enjoy it. You can believe it, but it is unnecessary to change the action plan because of this. He has his own established plan, and it is impossible to be led by the nose by others. The other party can sell the boat ticket, and he can also sell the seat of the conferred god. Who is afraid of whom? Isn't it just a blank check? Just open it and you're done. But to Chen Mo's surprise, Femiris was really moved. Then, I really want to buy a seat. If you really want to establish a universe god kingdom, one of my gods must be included in it, and it will also be called Lady Luck. 147 inches. I'm fully cooperating with you this time, but how about the last Nesser's core being mine? In addition to Nesser's core, there are other components. With this alone, the spacecraft cannot be built well. Femilis spoke again. It is impossible to give you the Nesser core. There is no such saying in the Star Soul world. Otherwise, the Nesser core is yours, but it is temporarily kept with me. After 100 years, I will exchange it for you. How? Maybe it won't take 100 years. I'll study it for a while, and if I can't figure it out, I'll return it to you. Of course, God of Wisdom is here, I will give him a chance, let him try, if not, I will let him die again. However, this behavior must be completely controllable. Don't try to run away with your things in advance. Chen Mo didn't hesitate, and rejected Femilis directly. But not completely rejected. After all, the other party has seen through the cooperation between himself and the God of Light, and if he wants to fully infect it, it is impossible to succeed without the cooperation of the goddess. But it is basically impossible for him to compromise directly. It's not just that he doesn't want to, the rules of the Star Soul world don't allow it either. But to put it another way, maybe Femilis would agree. I don't know if it's Chen Mo's delusion, but I always feel that although the other party is cunning, he really doesn't have much hostility towards him. Lady Luck hesitated for a moment, but finally agreed. But I want you to promise, give me that seat, and at the same time give me the Nesser core 100 years later. Chen Mo agreed wholeheartedly. An unknown seat, a chance to swallow the Temple of God alone, and a dimensional spaceship engine of a level 4 civilization, it's a lot of money. Then, deal, I trust your character. From now on, we will be comrades in arms. Lady Luck couldn't help but smile when she saw the happy Chen Mo. Both of them feel that they have made a profit. Then, I'll go back and prepare. Without my cover, there is a high probability that the idiot, the God of Light, will get caught. After finishing the work, Famulus seemed to be in a good mood. He left with a smile. Chen Mo looked at this enchanting and beautiful back, and fell into deep thought for a while. Could it be that the other party is really, just want to find a trustworthy, comrade in arms? This. No matter how you look at it, it looks like you earned it yourself. Should be no problem. Carefully reviewing this transaction from beginning to end, Chen Mo found that he did not pay any real benefits. Although each took a step back, Lady Luck obviously paid more. But the other party seems to be very lucky, and can predict the future. If you look at it this way, it seems that you are easy to be fooled, right? And as soon as an agreement was reached, the other party left. Chen Mo didn't have time to communicate deeply with the other party. Lu Ru. Hello, Chen Mo, I heard that you have obtained an artifact that can attract the energy of stars. It is the one of the sun god. Can you sell it to me? I'm willing to pay a lot of money. Chen Mo's watch terminal vibrated slightly. It is the third friend besides Luo Bing and Mu Yao. The best friend introduced by Mu Yao. It is a veteran star soul powerhouse who fought in the area of AAAA, the Temple of Heaven. However, the opponent is in the 29th theater, and he is the closest to the 38th theater. Of course, they are all in one piece now, and if they are lucky, the two will even be able to meet in the core area of AA, the Temple of Heaven. Lu Ru smiled and was very polite. But compared to Mu Yao, she is much more reserved. After all, Mu Yao is a fool, but she is very aware of Chen Mo's true strength. Not long ago, Mu Yao asked her if Chen Mo could win. Fortunately, she answered slowly, otherwise she would have been slapped in the face on the spot. In short, at this moment, in her heart, Chen Mo is already the strongest combat force in the entire theater. Unless there is a star god descending, otherwise all of them may be able to barely contend against Chen Mo. It is such a terrifying strength to suppress the Temple of Heaven by one person. Logically speaking, it shouldn't. But it's so strange. Chen Mo can win every time when he presses and fights, but Tianshan Temple is very passive every time. Everyone is spreading the word. Chen Mo has an internal response. Of course, Lu Rushi did not join Chen Mo's sacred planet upgrade system, otherwise she would have known that Lady Luck had turned her back. Chen Mo felt happy. Good business came to his door. Lu Ru had done a deal with him before, so he was considered a straightforward person. The magic of the sun god has been damaged, but the ability to move stars is still there. If you need it, I can sell it to you. Chen Mo said with a smile. This weapon is of little use to him. Lu Ru probably didn't use it as a weapon. Then can you show me? Lu Ru asked. Chen Mo's character is reliable, she originally wanted to pay directly. But if there is damage, it must be checked. Can. Chen Mo nodded and invited Lu Ru to come and check. After opening the portal, Lu Ru came to Terra for the second time. The environment here shocked her immediately. It is even more exaggerated than what I saw in the video before. The environment here, Mr. Chen Mo, is really amazing. I can't believe it. It turned out to be just a barren planet. Lu Ru praised it. You flatter me. Chen Mo smiled lightly, and called the god of light, asking him to take out the artifact. Seeing this scene, Lu Ru was dumbfounded. What's the situation? The god of light has fully pledged his allegiance to Chen Mo. Although she heard that the god of light was captured, she did not die. But is it so cute? You know, this is a god. It's not a cat or a dog whose consciousness can be manipulated casually. Tell Ms. Lu Ru about your weapon. Chen Mo ordered casually. He could naturally see Lu Ru's surprise, but there was no need to explain. If the other party knew, it was the sun god who begged him to control it quickly, wouldn't his eyes pop out? Chapter 349. If you go in, it's not up to you. Li Po's big move. 2 more. This weapon should be just right for Ms. Lu Ru now. It was too powerful before, but it's just right now. But you need some power of faith and knowledge of energy control. Sun God introduced politely. Lu Ru looked at the sun god carefully, her mouth slightly opened. She didn't listen to the introduction at all. Okay. This. How did it work? At this moment, she really wanted to cut open the sun god's brain to see if the internal structure had changed. He was so obedient. Divine weapon. This is a weapon that a god has worked hard to forge for himself since he ascended to the gods. Tell others, without any hesitation. It can also be seen from this, the extent of Chen Mo's control over the opponent. Loyalty. Although Lu Ru had never done it before, she had never heard of killing the gods so quickly. You must know that there is an essential difference between gods and ordinary gods. Their consciousness has been separated from matter to a certain extent, and ordinary means are useless at all. Do you have a look at this weapon? After crackling, the sun god handed over the weapon. Lu Ru took it carefully. Under the maintenance of the sun god, this weapon has been repaired a lot. Although there is still a long way to go before it can be completely restored, it looks very complete on the outside, without any defects. The whole thing is like a glowing little sun, full of surging energy inside. It's so strong. And there are former users, imparting relevant knowledge. Holding the weapon, Lu Ru couldn't help taking a deep breath. With this piece of equipment, her power of faith will be able to exert its strongest power, and she will gain more benefits in the next battle. Boss Chen Mo, how much are you selling? Lu Ru pondered for a while, then asked. In her heart, she was already, so expensive. The state of this weapon is much better than she imagined, and there are corresponding complete usage methods. The price will never be low. To be honest, when she asked, she was a little terrified. Who knew that the degree of integrity was so high, and the sun god cooperated? I just hope that the price quoted by Chen Mo will not overflow too much, otherwise, this weapon will be like an assassin, who caught her by surprise and gave her a knife. Either the face is hurt, or the wallet is hurt. 5 billion, what do you think? Chen Mo opened his mouth and offered a price. He can't use this weapon, the sun god can use it, but it is not necessary. Chen Mo has more important tasks for the sun god. Of course, price is not the point. Chen Mo is currently short of money and needs to build a lot of equipment, but in the near future, this situation will be greatly improved. So, what Chen Mo needs most at the moment is actually people. Especially people from the Star Soul world. Winning newcomers into the pit is only his first step. The second step, which is also the most critical step, is to harvest the many people in the battle zone who have been promoted to Star Soul Master for a long time and have accumulated considerable wealth. They are the middle class with the largest number of stars and souls, and they are also the mainstay in mining, production, and war. In order to expand their influence in the Star Soul world, the support of this group of people, or in other words, whose knowledge they are using, is very important. Lu Ru is a very tender breakthrough. As the veteran Star Soul Master, there is a gap between the opponent and Li Po, but not much. The strength is also very strong, and the reputation is relatively large. 550. Lu Ru felt her lips trembling. Oh my god, it's a whole billion more than her budget. Of course she can afford the money, but it's really too much. It's definitely a hemorrhage. However, the price was something she asked on her own initiative. And Chen Mo is quite warm to her. He also asked the beautiful god on the side to bring her a cup of tea. The most important thing is that Chen Mo, the strongest genius ever, is looking at her with full expectation. To be honest, the price, plus the knowledge, is really fair. But the problem is, she originally just wanted to pick up junk. Who knew that Chen Mo's method was so outrageous? The completeness of the artifact is done in this way, and the sun god assists. Simply, the price is quite fair. Lu Ru opened the mouth and said. She felt that her throat was a little dry, so she couldn't help but drank a few more sips of tea. Oh, by the way, I almost forgot, there is a discount for coming to me to make a deal. If you are interested, you can join one of my organizations, and then I will give you the knowledge for free. Of course, the review of the large library is still necessary. Chen Mo smiled. Lu Ru's strength deserves a discount from him. Anyway, the follow-up can be earned from her. You're talking about your empress. Ahem, the Holy Alliance, right? Lu Ru opened the mouth and said. Even though she had experienced many battles, she almost couldn't hold back. This nickname is too outrageous. It made her feel a little uncomfortable. Do you also accept old fritters like me? Certainly. However, as a strong person, of course I can't force you to do anything like I do to newcomers. You will have more choices. You can choose to try my knowledge. The content of the contract must be more relaxed. Of course, responsibilities and knowledge correspond, and the things we can communicate are naturally different with different cooperation depths. Quote. Chen Mo nodded. Your ambition is really great, but this offer, to be honest, I can't refuse. Lu Ru gave Chen Mo a deep look, and nodded in agreement. The opponent is really strong. It is also willing to give discounts. This made Lu Ru even more curious. How far can a big guy like this go? I join you. However, the rest of the Star Soul experts relying on this kind of favor, I'm afraid it's useless. We have friendship, and those people don't have any feelings. It's almost impossible for you to rely on them to expand your influence. 0. I suggest starting with the Star Soul Master of the construction and business faction. But at least wait until you become a star god. Right now, it feels like it's still too early. Even if I join, I won't be convincing enough. Standing in Chen Mo's position, Lu Ru analyzed carefully. She's not the type to take advantage of things and do nothing. Don't worry, I will think about these things clearly. Wish us a happy cooperation. Chen Mo was all smiles. Just let the opponent into the pit. Enter first. What the other party wants to do, he knows better than anyone else. Picking up garbage alone is not fun. Okay, this is to organize a super garbage team. Joint. Chen Mo is absolutely right. He didn't want to stay in the realm of the Star Soul powerhouse forever. This is of course as soon as possible. After entering, what happens later is not up to him. His big move this time will not just let people take advantage of it in vain. He didn't know about our relationship, so he also called me last time. Chen Mo was taken aback for a moment, then laughed. He said that it was on the side of the Temple of Heaven, and he said that something big is going to happen. By the way, I have something to tell you, that Li Po suddenly became a joint master in a large area. As for Star God, as Lu Ru said, only those with strong star souls can be persuasive. Lu Ru thought of one more thing and reminded her. He believes that with the strong ability of the mushroom race, this is not a problem. It is estimated that he has already united with most of the powerful people. I don't know if it will be against you. Li Po, chapter 350 predicted their prediction. Take off in place. One more. In other words, Li Po worked so hard to recruit people. Doomed to be busy. If they are tangled up, prepare to attack now. Then Chen Mo panicked. Because no matter how many legions he has, there are places he can't occupy, and it's impossible for Li Po to lead him around. Because every move of Chen Mo is planned with Lady Luck. These steps can stabilize the Temple of Heaven. It is also in line with the prejudgment made by the God of Wisdom in the Temple of Heaven. Therefore, there is nothing that can be done in the face of people like him who came up in chaos and chaos. But they want to follow their waiting for themselves to act first. Instead of actively opening up the situation. Then never try to win. Thinking about picking up garbage, the layout is so low, then the garbage can't be picked up. Chen Mo also needn't worry at all. On the contrary, Li Po's 203 and others' way of seeking stability is in line with Chen Mo's wishes. I love such cooperative colleagues. If all the Star Soul Masters cooperated so actively, the whole world would be much better. Thinking of this, Chen Mo couldn't help but feel happy. Some looked forward to their expressions after seeing their big moves when they were ready. I heard that Li Po and others are still buying a lot of equipment and expanding the spaceship to prepare for this big battle. This wave, I'm afraid I'm going to lose blood. In this wave, I will definitely be able to infect and control most of the Temple of Heaven silently. At that time, the federal rewards alone will be very good. Not to mention, most of the heavenly temples have laid the foundation for me. These massive races alone are enough to make me a star god in an instant. In addition, having so many planets, I can grow a large number of planet brains, and the more powerful computing power is enough to make the star world more real, like a real world. Chen Mo was planning, feeling a little excited. After all, this wave is a big one. He also took a little risk. At the same time, it must be enough to go east on both sides of the Temple of Heaven and the world of Star Soul. For any Star Soul Master, the bigger the territory, the better. The larger the site, the more resources it can develop various industries, and it also means that there are more subordinates. These are all sources of Star Soul power. Star God's achievement of eternity begins here. Not to mention the astral world, which needs the material of the real world as support. It looks like a castle in the air, and it is created out of nothing, but in fact, to allow consciousness to exist, a planet-level neural network is indispensable. This is also the basis of Chen Mo's invincibility and fearlessness of death. If you work hard to cultivate a technical overlord, and the opponent's neck was twisted with a click last time, and his consciousness dissipated, the loss is not ordinary. Therefore, none of that can be called an endless human return tactic. Chen Mo here, the consciousness does not die, grow a flesh and blood body, and then go on. This is the real C of AA people. As Chen Mo becomes stronger and stronger, his main planet will also be transformed into stronger and stronger by him. Because this is the home planet of all his subordinates. Holy Terra will eventually become extremely powerful under the blessing of billions of powerful gods. The final form should be similar to the Star Soul world. In fact, the essence of the star soul world is the gathering of countless powerful star soul lords and star gods. Because of this, the star consciousness world law of the star soul world is extremely powerful. This kind of power far exceeds that of ordinary planets, even evil gods. And this method, using the Holy Terra, is also established. Of course, since Holy Terra also belongs to the star soul world, the stronger it is, the stronger the star soul world will be. However, the more power Sher Chen Mo provided, the greater the proportion of star soul world's response to him. This is the essence of the law of the world. Conquer and contribute to the world, and the world will pay attention to you in return. When there are enough reports, they will gather authority, and you will become an influential person in the star soul world. Has anyone thought about replacing the laws of the star soul world and becoming the supreme star god? Not a lot. It's almost impossible. There are too many strong people in the star soul world, and their power is extremely scattered. There are as many as 100 seats for those who have authority. That is, the top 100 MPs. Of course, all this is still too far away from Chen Mo. He doesn't think about that yet. Just use this as a goal and do some layout beforehand. His layout mainly has 3. The first is to expand the influence in the Lord of Star Soul and let more people join his knowledge system. The second is to continuously strengthen your own main planet and make Holy Terra even more holy. Thirdly, this is what most people are doing. Through continuous battles and plundering, more planets and resources are brought under the control of the star soul world, thus gaining the attention of the world law. 0. If any of the 3 layouts makes progress, Chen Mo's status in the star soul world can be improved. The higher the status, the more resources the Federation will give. Natural strength skyrocketed, the strength soars, and more knowledge can be obtained. This is a virtuous cycle. Among these 3 layouts, the one that Chen Mo is currently carrying out the most smoothly is the third one. Fast progress. But there are too many strong people in the star soul world, and the resources gathered by the star gods are even more countless. So in the end, Chen Mo's contribution is not counted by the hall. And because of this, he must be whole big. This battle of the Temple of Heaven is a difficult opportunity. Originally, the Federation gave tens of millions of people the opportunity to make contributions, but now Chen Mo has the opportunity to eat a large piece of it alone. Close to swallowing such resources, even the star gods cannot obtain them for the star soul world in a short period of time. Needless to say, as long as you get it, you will be delighted. Chen Mo's name, I dare not say that it resounds throughout the entire star soul world, but at least in the circle of star soul masters, it is about to explode completely. And this, in turn, helps the implementation of his first and second plans. Just swallow the Temple of Heaven and borrow their territory like the human head, Chen Mo will take off in place. Don't you need to worry. Seeing Chen Mo's expression is calm, even, his thoughts don't seem to be on this matter. 2.3. Lu Ru was a little confused. No matter what, this kind of sneaky, follow-up behavior of sharing benefits is very annoying, right? Besides, on the surface, Li Po still likes Chen Mo very much. Li Po must have found a backer. Maybe it's the Gray Steel Consortium, maybe it's something else. Of course, it's understandable for him to do this. To be honest, I'm moved. The benefits are too great. I dare say that almost all the Star Soul experts invited by him will participate. After all, that's a profit of at least tens of billions. Lu Ru said again. Try to make Chen Mo pay attention. Strong strength does not necessarily have an advantage. Shoot the bird. Now anyone with a discerning eye can see that Chen Mo is a thorn in Tianshan Temple's side. If you want to take action, the first unlucky person must be Chen Mo. If you follow behind, you are lucky. Not only can you pick up garbage, but you may not be able to eat meat. Chapter 351. Time is running out. Evolve the battleship. 2 more. Don't worry, I have my own arrangements. Just cooperate with me. It is inconvenient for Chen Mo to explain more, because Lu Ru is not his person after all. The agreement between the two is still very loose. He didn't dare to talk nonsense about some things. This battle, I must also win. If it doesn't develop like this, the follow-up will be very difficult. Chen Mo thought about the Dimension Devourer again. He has a hint on the attribute panel, and what Goddess of Luck said, there is a high probability that it is true. If that was the case, and ended up running away, then the current efforts would be meaningless. Because he knows very well that the time when the Devourer of Dimensions arrives has a high probability of not changing evenly. Maybe when he wakes up tomorrow, there are only 800 years left. It is not impossible to reduce 100 years in one day. After all, it has been reduced by 90 years at one time. Therefore, this matter is actually quite urgent. That's why he dared to promise Lady Luck 100 years. By that time, if he hadn't researched the Nisir core for 30 years, the probability was already low. With the strength of the Star Soul world, Chenmo believes that escaping will not be a problem. But, in every war, someone has to pay the price. Could he himself be one of the costs? If you are assigned to the Rear Legion, count on the ticket from Lady Luck. Thinking of this, Chenmo couldn't help feeling worried. But at the same time, fighting spirit was ignited. You can't lie down straight away, can you? We must seize every opportunity and become stronger quickly. Chenmo prefers to take his fate into his own hands. The first step is to control the entire Heavenly Temple area. Then raise all the minions under your command to level 9, or even the depth of gods. Then, it is to expand the influence, at least to be able to influence the situation in the Star Soul world, so that the preparations for the war can start ahead of time, and lean in the direction that is beneficial to you. If I can reach this point, with the ability of my race to devour evolution infinitely, I still have a chance to integrate the Star Soul world. Chenmo thought of this and stopped abruptly. It is quite dangerous to continue this idea. Any member of parliament may perceive that there are unfavorable ideas for him. It is quite dangerous to keep thinking about this kind of thing in your head. Okay, I will cooperate well. This can be regarded as your first battle when you emerge. Lu Ru said. Not knowing what was going on, she felt a little excited. Although I know it is impossible, I still hope that Chenmo can succeed. There is a feeling of personally participating in creating a miracle. Perhaps the genius who was blunted back then has not disappeared, and now he is ready to move again. It feels like doing something big. Of course, if Chenmo's seemingly grand plan fails at the first step, and he still kneels in such a ridiculous and arrogant place, then the follow-up cooperation will be relatively uncertain. Don't say it's a question of whether she wants it or not, even if it's Chenmo himself, I'm too embarrassed to bring it up again. From Lu Ru's point of view, Chenmo's current wave is obviously a sure win, but now he is letting Li Po prepare. Not arrogance, but absolute self-confidence. Wait and see. Chenmo chatted with Lu Ru for a while, the specific cooperation details. Then Lu Ru left. Before leaving, she also said that she would go for a walk on the beach and visit Chenmo's planet. But looking at this planet full of Star Soul world atmosphere, she couldn't help but have a doubt in her mind, is this kind of treatment really something that only a talented person can have? You know, there are so many people in the Star Soul world, and the star gods are even more powerful, geniuses or not, in their eyes, it shouldn't be very important, right? Chenmo, when exactly did he fall in love with that person? You know, that's the Queen of Ice, a newly promoted powerful star god. If only I could win the favor of the other party, that would be great. Shaking his head, if he doesn't think about it anymore. Thinking too much will only increase the pain out of thin air. Great divine will, those who join your camp are getting stronger and stronger. Seeing that the guests had already left, Oran couldn't help but speak. The opponent is very strong. If it weren't for the master's favor, she was afraid that she would not be an opponent. At the same time, Oran also foresees that there will be more and more people like this in the future. I also want to act as the face of the master, as one of the main combat forces, it must be stronger. Master, I want to try to sprint to a stronger realm. She took the initiative to speak. She is responsible for finding the source, so she has to contribute. Cultivation is what she is best at. For his own people to be so motivated, Chenmo naturally nodded in relief. He can provide resources continuously. Coupled with the idealist knowledge acquired by the Sun God and the Plague God, the Snake Human Queen can use it and go a step further. I will let Ash cooperate with you to sort out a complete set of promotion methods that can be used by the Snake people. I hope you can all be stronger. You will definitely advance. 260 inches. In addition to the snake human race and the collective upgrade of the mermaid race, my evolution battleship should also have results. Turning his gaze, Chenmo's gaze landed on the Tiberium ore planet. Countless engineers and snake humans are transforming and constructing this planet despite the powerful radiation mutation. The reason why Chenmo thinks so is because he himself and the greenskins have become stronger. Recently, he has harvested too much consciousness, and his ability to make wishes come true has been strengthened unprecedentedly. It's okay, you can. Tiberium ore will continue to drain the planet. It is foreseeable that in order to maintain the size of this battleship, it will need to continuously devour other planets in the future. A super-large mutation cannon has been prepared. If there is no accident, this battleship will have a very powerful ability in parasitic infection. It is fundamentally different from the current fortress. At that time, one of the two will be responsible for fighting and the other will be responsible for infection harvesting. He had a hunch that Oran's promotion this time would break the record of the Temple of Heaven and become the fastest person to advance to the middle god. Chen Mo made a wish directly. At this time, there is already a sea of AA people here. Who doesn't want their right-hand man to be powerful and beautiful? At this time, this star-level fortress named Evolution Battleship has already built test weapons. If you have something, you can leave it to them. Afterwards, Chen Mo took a closer look at the research progress of the technological overlord and came to the same conclusion. There are many gravitational cores that have also grown into place. This weapon will use energy irradiation to directly infect the creatures of another planet. All in all, very nice. Chapter 352 Variation Force Field. Fully autonomous superweapon. One more. The Great Divine Will, this mutant cannon, will definitely contribute to the glorious evolutionary cause and disintegrate all provocative consciousness. The technical overlord patted his chest, promising to arrive with a bang. Can. Chen Mo nodded, waved his hand lightly, and he gave the order to start the test. Next, there is no need for him to command. Under the dispatch of the technical overlord, the entire mutant cannon is busy. The energy of the fake Neser core burst out, causing electric currents to emerge around the entire mutation cannon. The electric current is like a small snake, flowing around, and then disappearing. Before the cannon was fired, the powerful radiation had already produced a terrifying ionization phenomenon. After the calculation of the technical overlord, now this mutant cannon has gathered the ability of parasitic mushrooms. With just one shot, it can quickly crystallize the matter within 10 kilometers of the hit area, and the flesh and blood matter and consciousness will be quickly destroyed. In fact, in this way, it can be shot down and transformed into the operation of one's own people in a unified way. Of course, you can also choose the ability obtained from the evil spirit reincarnation pool, launch a reorganization beam, harvest and reorganize all consciousnesses, and turn them into terrifying evil spirits. So far, the fortress battleship made by Chen Mo's Tiberium ore planet has not yet been formed. But already in possession of two fearsome weapons. The first is the consciousness restructuring machine, that uses the knowledge of the evil spirit reincarnation pool. The second type is the mutation cannon, that uses the radiation and energy infection capabilities of Tiberium ore. The two abilities are different, but both can attack consciousness. The first is to directly distort consciousness and turn it into a weapon. The second is to harvest infected flesh and blood in batches, so as to infect and control creatures. Next, Chen Mo just needs to wait for the final result. I saw the mutant cannon turning rapidly, aiming at a battleship of the Temple of Heaven. This battleship was captured by Chen Mo through hard work. Has a complete defense. But at this moment, they also know that they have become test subjects and are struggling desperately. The entire battleship is accelerating towards the stars. They now have the chance to tear through space and escape before falling into the stars. Chen Mo didn't stop him. The ordinary creatures he had watched before would not be able to escape his sight in this lifetime. Next moment, the mutant cannon fired. The entire creep was shining brightly, and suddenly, the radiation around the creep was emptied. Even the Tiberium ore that spread wantonly on the ground dimmed slightly. Radiation is emitted directly. Speed of light. The next moment, the entire battleship was hit by the speed of light. It's like being swept by a neutron star pulse. Exclamation mark, exclamation mark. In the next moment, electric current flickered in the entire battleship, and some unlucky crew members of the Temple of Heaven were directly turned into coke by the high voltage current caused by radiation. But most of the area is still intact. However, the next moment, the terrible crystallization phenomenon began to happen. The entire battleship creaked, and scarlet crystals spread and grew from everywhere. As the crystals grow, boom. The first crew member exploded. The genes in his body had been recombined. The first one was infected, and then blasted out the sky full of parasitic spores. 1 minute after the battleship was hit, the infection spread to the entire interior of the battleship. 2 minutes after the battleship was hit, the frenzy of infection had already overflowed the battleship. 4 minutes after the battleship was hit, the entire battleship could no longer see its original appearance. From the appearance, it looked like 10 deformed clumps full of sarcoma and spewing spores. Put away the record. Chen Mo nodded in satisfaction. As long as it spreads to the entire Tiberium ore planet according to the standard of this mutation canon, and the power of the radiation extracted is increased by another 100 million times, then the power will be his. Chen Mo made a little calculation and was stunned. Wait, this is still firing in points. If this radiation spreads out in a ring, like the domain of the gods, then the area of this radiation mutation field will reach 9 billion kilometers. Almost the range of a medium-sized star system. That is to say, a star, the radiated light, can affect the range. Damn it, this power. I was stunned and shocked in my heart. With this weapon, what electromagnetic guns and laser cannons are needed? At this time, his eyes fell on the giant mutant gun, and he was very excited. Even looking at this mutant gun like a turtle, he felt mighty and handsome. Among all his weapons, this one is the most outrageous and the one he is most proud of. Because the core ability comes from race. And the knowledge basically comes from the accumulation along the way, as well as the research of the green leather engineers. It is the most basic Tiberium ore planet, which is also made by Chen Mo himself. The emergence of this mutant cannon is a long-term accumulation, harvested brick by brick. It can be said that it is almost completely independent intellectual property rights. If it is said that every god has a natal artifact, then the mutant cannon can be regarded as the artifact when Chen Mo became a star god. At this moment, in Chen Mo's mind, mutant cannon is more powerful than Requiem. So proud. And if such a weapon is integrated into a piece of knowledge and promoted. Imagine the current status of Requiem. In a sense, this is a symbol of the star soul world. If you can achieve the benchmark Requiem. No, it's not even necessary. Even if it only has 1% of his status, it will cause Chen Mo's status in the star soul world to undergo an earth-shaking change. Of course, as far as the current situation is concerned, the cost of this weapon is ridiculously high. Not to mention rookies, even many star soul masters can't afford it. Moreover, the principle is also very scary. This involves his cards. Of course, devouring evolution will never stop. The current whole card will be the backward weapon in the future, and it can be displayed. With the support of 2 weapons of mass destruction, Chen Mo is even more looking forward to the follow-up full-body, evolution battleship. Is that okay, eh? It's really not easy. I have developed for so long, and finally have my own unique super weapon. This kind of knowledge about emitting mutated energy to infect the target area can be collectively called a mutated force field. Chen Mo concluded, and classify this knowledge into advanced materialism knowledge. Of course, if someone heard this, they would definitely roll their eyes. It has been developed for so long, listen to this, is it human? If you are full of money, you will not eat much. With this weapon, when the time comes, ordinary enemies, as long as the warship's approaching, directly mutate, without any doubt, continue to evolve, and when others see my battleships, mushrooms will start to appear all over their bodies. Chen Mo is very confident about this. This is his practice of his original idea, starting to interfere with consciousness from matter. And at one point, it has achieved the ultimate. Of course, this is just the extreme of a point, and the technology tree cannot continue to go up. Chapter 353 Infection is spreading. The way to make money. Picking up trash. 2 more. Congratulations, Master, the evolutionary power of your subordinates has once again increased. At this moment, Ash came over. She has a smile on her face, and the strength of the master makes her very happy. This kind of power is simply astonishing, especially the Tiberium ore, which is inextricably linked with their mermaid clan. I feel that I have also contributed to this powerful weapon. At this point, she vaguely understands what is called knowledge as power. I also understand why the master keeps collecting various races and consumes a lot of energy to maintain the astral world. Thinking about it, there will be more and more such achievements in the future. In the future, there will be more power like this, not just parasitic. Chen Mo said. Growth, engulfment, hallucinogenic, toxin, parasitic, nerve, metal, electricity, high energy, gravity, perception, brainwave, self-explosion, space. Chen Mo glanced at the ability of the mushroom race. How many of them, like a parasitic glance, can reach the pinnacle of evolution? According to the deduction system, every ability is crucial and can evolve to be very powerful. In other words, each item has this potential. But now, just a parasite is so awesome. A super weapon was derived. What would happen if everything evolved to the extreme? 640 Chen Mo can't imagine. Because he wasn't that awesome. But that didn't stop him from looking forward to it. And you can imagine that compared to the god of plague, he is actually the same. The plague virus is already a god. Queen of Ice, Master of Space. These estimates are more or less the same. If everything has reached the level of gods, plus the support from the authority of the Star Soul world, wouldn't it be powerful? At this moment, Chen Mo was full of motivation. The worries from the Dimension Devourer have also calmed down a little. As long as the strength continues to grow, it will be able to cope with the changing situation. Great divine will, the test was quite successful. This is the data. A technical overlord was so excited that he prostrated himself in front of Chen Mo and submitted the experimental data. Chen Mo nodded. His eyes fell on the giant mutant cannon. A summary of the data emerges. A variation canona. A status. Experimental model, slightly damaged. Origin. Obtained through research in the Battle of the Temple of Heaven. The creator, Chen Mo, the Star Soul powerhouse. The powerful parasitic infection ability and what method can be used as a carrier. On this issue, we have made a breakthrough in melee combat. Starting from this weapon, the boundary between materialism and idealism began to blur, and we finally have a way to use matter to strongly interfere with consciousness. Description. This strange radiation weapon can cause powerful damage to flesh and matter. But neither is lethal, but based on crystallization and infection, step by step. The most powerful point is that these attacks are basically unable to be effectively defended against, and even the defensive substance itself can be corroded and infected by this kind of radiation. It has to be said that the radiation of tiberium ore is very effective for devices such as energy defense. Very effective. Unusual, this time the description is very long. Usually a little bit. Chen Mo can also understand the mood of the technological overlord. If he encounters such a unique weapon, and it is made by himself, he should record it carefully. No matter what, the evolution battleship completed based on the transformation of the mutation force field will definitely shake the entire theater, or in other words, the entire group of Star Soul Masters. Because it has been a long time, no new, so efficient weapon has been born. Everyone is almost requiem, making some micro-innovations. Such brand new knowledge and brand new weapons, invented by a Star Soul expert, will definitely shock everyone. Generally speaking, to develop this kind of advanced knowledge, one needs at least the Star God realm. And it's not an ordinary Star God, at least it has to be a Star God who has received the attention of the laws of the world. But Chen Mo once again created a miracle. At that time, all Star Soul Masters, no matter they are veterans or not, will be eclipsed in front of Chen Mo. Chen Mo's fame will reach a whole new level. It also happened to be the first wave of S for him to enter the Star God realm. At that time, combined with Lu Ru's publicity, I believe the effect will be quite good. Afterwards, Chen Mo let the mutant cannon test fire a few more times. After 3 times, the entire mutant cannon itself DAF has been crystallized. Completely scrapped. But it doesn't matter, the technology is here and can be improved. At that time, the entire Tiberium ore planet will not only be a major mining town, but also a powerful weapon. Ore planets and superweapons. Most people have no way of imagining how these two things are connected. But here in Chen Mo, it is perfect use. Not long after, Chen Mo checked the weapons manufacturing situation. After supervising the speed again, he turned his gaze and looked at an area of the Temple of Heaven. Here, the covert landing of the spacecraft, the infection spreads on the crew. But they are all at the microscopic level of genes. From the perspective of idealist civilization, they are no different from curses, and it is difficult to prevent them. Just relying on purification, the parasites cannot be removed now. The spaceship was ordered to go to a jackal home planet to receive a batch of resources. This mother star has no gods. In other words, the probability of infection being discovered is very low. Similar spaceships have been issued Legion mobilization orders from the core area of Tiantian Temple. Some are orders from the God of Wisdom, and some are from the God of Light and the Goddess of Luck. As high-level gods, they all have the right to intervene in the Alliance command room to a certain extent. Of course, the supreme power is in the hands of the God of Wisdom, because he is the representative chosen by the gods. However, the God of Light and the Goddess of Luck have been in business for many years, and it is easy to mobilize some insignificant troops. Even, there is no need to issue orders directly. Quietly, the infection has begun. And it's extremely fast. Chen Mo has a little perception. He has now spread to almost 20% of the edge planets of the Temple of Heaven. When the gods are aware of it, it is estimated that there will be at least 50%. By then, they probably will be in a hurry. But it doesn't matter, just to urge them. At this time, the theater channel was extremely lively. Because someone discovered that Chen Mo's movements actually slowed down. This caused many people to complain. Hey, boss Chen Mo, keep going, I'm too busy picking up trash. I finally understand the true meaning of making a fortune, which is to follow Chen Mo and pick up the leaks. Hey, I have already occupied a mining planet, a wave of fat. Is this also called a wave of fat? I put all the money I earned into it, and recruit soldiers to buy it. This time, I will be the king of garbage behind Chen Mo. Me too. Brothers, it's strange, it seems that not only Chen Mo, but many big bosses are silent now. Are they secretly getting rich? There was a lot of discussion. There is speculation whether Chen Mo is in trouble. There are also speculations as to whether the other big shots are making big moves. What's more, I feel good, I feel that following Chen Mo, I got a big deal. However, they did not stop in time, but continued to increase investment. They are all ready to make a big wave. Because there are still many high-value planets in the Temple of Heaven, and Chen Mo alone can never occupy them all. Just watch Chen Mo attack and they have a chance. Chapter 354. Big Data Tracks the Devourer of Dimensions. Dear Ash, one more. This movement is really big. Is Lady Luck reliable? Are those Star Soul powerhouses planning big moves? Will it affect our actions? Luo Bing, who knows the old high-level heavenly planet, looked at the information in the chat channel, and couldn't help feeling a little worried. Especially those guys who usually come out to provoke every day, now they suddenly stop bubbling. Must be busy with something. The gap is so great that after Chen Mo is leading the charge every day, Luo Bing is also suffering. If she doesn't have enough of this, she can't take responsibility at all. After all, she herself is fighting with Chen Mo. However you want to act, you can do it as usual, and you don't need to worry about the movement of the Star Soul world or the Temple of Heaven. Chen Mo said. In fact, he is very clear that the two sides are not making a big move, but are waiting for him to make a move. Unfortunately, this time, he was uncharacteristically, not reckless. It's rubbing in the dark, and it's infecting everywhere. When someone finds out, that's the time for him to do it right away. But at that time, I believe no one can keep up with his movements. So if we really want to say it, the rest of the people will benefit the most, that is, they will be buried regardless. Unfortunately, no one dared to do that. At present, everything is going smoothly. Chen Mo opens the watch, checks the information of his 4 places, and the battle report of the Great Expedition. The most powerful members of the Star Soul world, apart from guarding the Star Soul world, are all participating in the Great Crusade. This is a terrifying battlefield that stretches for dozens of light years, and how many 4th-level civilizations are involved. The opponent is said to be various void monsters, as well as a broken universe. Chen Mo has been thinking that the time on his wristwatch was suddenly delayed a little bit. Although it was only 1 year, it is enough to show that a certain world, or a certain civilization, made an effort to prevent the coming of the Dimension Devourer, made a little contribution. And this, the movement caused, is afraid that it will not be small. It may appear in some major war intelligence. The Great Crusade is the most likely place Chen Mo thinks. In addition to this, Chen Mo also began to pay attention to the knowledge innovation situation in the world of Star Soul, whereas the Tribunal discovered anomalies, burned several planets, etc. In short, Chen Mo started to pay attention to his own 1-acre 3-point land, and the pattern suddenly opened. Start to care about the overall policy, direction, and possible difficulties of the entire Star Soul world. Even, Chen Mo also spent a sum of money to inquire about other information about other known 4th-level civilizations from the big library. It's all useless though. But in the case of predicting the disaster in advance, it is still possible to know the situation in advance through some clues. Chen Mo not only read it by himself, but also assigned the analysis of the information to the fox. Let her use the biological mastermind to continuously filter and sift through the information, so as to find out the information that seems to be unrelated but actually connected in the sea of AA information. Big data analysis. Through these, Chen Mo believes that although he is only the middle level, he can detect some hidden information that the upper level has not announced in advance. The sooner he knows, the better he can prepare. Master, you are so concerned about this information, did you find anything? As Chen Mo's right-hand man, Ash naturally knows that there is a new long-term mission. She wants to share the master's worries. The sweet voice made Chen Mo feel a little relaxed. He enjoyed the softness coming from behind, and said, "If Lady Luck and my own unique information are correct, the enemy this time is no small matter, and we must treat it with caution. I want to know how to fight against the Dimension Devourer in the first place, and know where they passed, or how they entered this universe. However, I can't obtain the highest intelligence of the Star Soul world. I can only rely on a large number of transactions, news, etc., analyze it myself, and find abnormalities. Goddess of Luck is the same. After running away for so long, she just wanted to run away, and even wanted to drag me onto the boat. She refused to tell me how to fight against the Dimension Devourer and the signs of their appearance. For this, Chen Mo is the most unhappy. If this woman was not so slippery, he would have pressed her to tell her everything. But now, we can only think of a way to cooperate first. To be honest, if it wasn't for the time on the attribute panel, he wouldn't believe in Lady Luck at all. The other party probably also suspects that he is a time traveler, so he thinks he knows something about the Dimension Devourer. XE said, "Our computing power is getting higher and higher. At that time, according to the master's words, can't we also achieve the effect similar to the prophecy? And my daughter, Irene, her perception is very keen, and she has a similar the gift of prophecy." Chen Mo shook his head. Both of these can be said to be a breakthrough direction, but the thing to be predicted is too grand, it may not be useful, and there is not enough time. However, you can try it. Well, I will tell the two sisters. Ash nodded obediently. She is very powerful as a god now, but the problems faced by the master, even for her, feel very difficult. In other words, it was impossible for her to know or understand as an ordinary creature before. Point 0. Master, in fact, there is no need to worry at all. No matter when the Devourer of Dimensions comes, you will always have a group of fighters who will always be loyal to you. Our belief is invincible, and our evolution rate is far beyond ordinary. Regarding this point, Ash was very confident. Ash wanted to say something. Terrifying energy fluctuations stirred up, making the starry sky here seem to have ripples. But the sweet voice was blocked. The master is simply the embodiment of miracles. In Ash's view, time is always on the master's side. That's, Temple of Heaven, the core area. The other is Lady Luck 6. One of them is the God of Light. Whether it is the Temple of Heaven, the world of Star Soul, or other so-called civilizations, or even the devourers of dimensions that do not belong to this universe, they will not trouble the master. Brilliant victory. Many gods gathered together again. She has strong confidence in her master. There are two figures of gods, who are being questioned. Chen Mo pressed Luo Bing's head down slowly. Master, is invincible. Such a fast growth rate. The future world belongs to the master. Chen Mo looked at Ai's hot and adoring eyes, and couldn't help reaching out to caress Ai's head, and said with a smile, "Little mouth is so sweet." Chapter 355 Dragon God Goes to Battle. Heavenly Temple Legion. 2 more. The God of Light and the Goddess of Luck are both old-fashioned gods in the Temple of Heaven. Both of them are also main fighters, and has its own small faction. They have made considerable contributions to the external expansion of the Temple of Heaven. Especially the God of Light. He strongly advocates external expansion, and he also collects information on many other civilizations. Lady Luck, on the other hand, has made ignorant contributions in reforming the interior and allocating resources. Many marginalized races have come to today step by step thanks to her support. But this time, many gods were quite dissatisfied with the behavior of the two. Goddess of Luck, didn't you say that we will give support immediately after we are ready, and then lead everyone to the battle? A god with flaming horns on his head said, "But we've been waiting here for almost a day. And you don't have an explanation for 440, either." His home planet is already very close to the area where the slave owners appeared last time. So this god is in a hurry. If they don't unite again, let alone fighting, the first thing he has to consider is to preserve his own strength and move to the home planet to escape. The God of Light is the same. It's not your turn to send people to garrison our area. If you have that time, please bring your elite troops and attack more. There are also gods who speak and express their dissatisfaction with the God of Light. According to his previous temper, the God of Light must have resented him directly. But this time, make it a little bigger. To be honest, he was very worried. The next direction of the gods directly determined the outcome of his betrayal. Therefore, He sat there leisurely and did not answer the conversation. Just wait for Lady Luck to quibble first. This, he also knows now, turned out to be a terrifying and mysterious ancient god. People like this are all there at this moment, but they are secretly standing on the same front as him. I don't know what condition Chen Mo offered her. In short, no matter what, the heart is not in the temple of heaven, and failure is inevitable. Asgard, don't be impulsive, the goddess of luck has her own considerations, and luck is not so effective when you say it. The elf goddess spoke to persuade her. With her beautiful face, she is incompatible with the appearance of other gods. Clearly, she was in the minority, firmly on the side of Lady Luck. As for Lady Luck's plans, I have already vaguely communicated with her, so naturally she won't say anything. Hee, I'm impulsive. The flame above the head of the god known as Asgard burned more and more fiercely. If it weren't for your incompetence in command, would the Temple of Heaven be reduced to this point? I don't know what you are afraid of. Let's go together. There are so many gods. Even if the other party has a billion trillion legion, we will clear it. Then what star-class warship can it stop me? In my opinion, there is no need to shrink back. Aren't you just afraid of those slave owners who will find stronger slave owners and escalate the war? Let me tell you, their strong men are not idle. The information I got shows that they suffered heavy losses in a recent battle, and dozens of powerful star gods even fought together. At this time, the dragon god also spoke. We don't panic at all. No one cares about us. You don't understand the actions of Star Soul World at all. As long as we don't completely defeat the slave owners in this area, the war will not escalate. The slave owners have their so-called honor. This kind of stupid behavior makes them always send out opponents who they think are evenly matched in an area. His words boomed. Many gods' eyes lit up. As an unwelcome cosmic being, the dragon god could not get along here at first, but now that the heavenly god temple is in the situation, he can speak freely and move around. We are also invited to come and work together. But there is also something that makes him very dissatisfied, that is, these gods, as always, shrink back. If they were all as brave as their cosmic beings, they would have smashed through the Star Soul World front and crushed the Chen Mo into powder. Dragon God, since you are so confident, do you dare to fight? The god of wisdom glanced at Lady Luck and said. Now, his research is nearing completion. It's true. Why don't you dare? The god of light is so timid and afraid of getting into trouble, then let me come and give me the command. The dragon god is domineering. Of course, he also has his own little calculations in mind, and this wave doesn't even need to be really successful. With the full support of the Temple of Heaven, his believers can all be armed strength soars. This is not the territory of China, it doesn't matter if it is broken. Anyway, do it. As for the danger, it's not like he hasn't fought Chen Mo before. 0. Naturally know the opponent's means. Speaking of this, who knows the slave owners best? He is naturally a cosmic being with a lot of news and wandering around the major galaxies and forces. Give me 50 gods, and on the first day, I will destroy Chen Mo's starship. The next day, directly destroy the opponent's theater. There is nothing I can do in the future. My purpose is to kill Chen Mo. The rest has nothing to do with me. I will leave with the loot. I will have 70% of the loot alone. How about it? The dragon god opened its mouth wide. The god of wisdom made a decision directly. At this time, he could also see that the powerhouses in the Temple of Heaven were all shy, and they might have their own plans in private. Of course, he has too. So I didn't bother to say anything. Let the dragon god take those gods who still wanted to fight, go up and touch them. It won't matter if you win, and it doesn't matter if you lose, he will just appear on the stage at that time, and the world will turn around. By the way, integrate the scattered temples of gods one by one. Thinking of this, he couldn't help being excited. Okay, let's all sign the contract. In the name of the dragon god, I will make Chen Mo pay the price. Dragon god spoke immediately. It is good. Reconsideration. War. For a time, many gods responded. It didn't take long for the dragon god to count the army of hundreds of millions. This is the elite of the Temple of Heaven. Plus his own 100,000 cosmic beings, and 1.71 million servants. Looking at the past, it is boundless and powerful. On Chen Mo's side, as the dragon god led the legion to set off, he got the information immediately. Because there is no support from the god of light and the goddess of luck, the dragon god's army has been reduced to 60 gods compared to the original 100 gods. But also extremely scary. Chen Mo couldn't help but rubbed his hands excitedly. So many gods. Ash's eyes widened, her heart beating faster. As for the Star Soul world, many Star Soul masters who sent spies and elite infiltration teams also realized that something was wrong. Large swaths of areas began to lose intelligence. There is an invisible force that is advancing rapidly. The target is the fortress that has just completed the leap and is about to attack a planet. Chapter 356. The Gods Gather. War. Chen Mo's trap. One more. Mobile immediately. Ready to send resources. Resource fortress. Ash reacted quickly and immediately issued an order. But it was stopped by Chen Mo. No hurry, let them all come out and talk. We have the dark sky, which is a nearly invincible defense. The opportunity that Chen Mo had been waiting for finally appeared, and he must maximize his benefits. Now is not the time yet. On Lady Luck's side, there are still backhands. Especially the God of Light, who usually acts recklessly. With him taking the lead in acting, it seems that the Dragon God seems to have the upper hand here. Then he pretended to come over to pick up a bargain. It will definitely drive the rest of the gods to come together. Are 60 gods too many? Many. But what Chen Mo wants is everything. After listening to Chen Mo's amazing plan, Ash couldn't help but widen her eyes, a little worried. There are so many gods, if they attack together, even if the damage is not as powerful as the fortress, it is enough to break through our defense. After all, the fortress is too big, and the gods only need a small gap to break in. As strong as the bastion, even the holy Terra that can create cannon fodder infinitely, there is no second. If it is destroyed, 30 is really hurting. This is the real highest combat power, and it is also an entire mobile base. Without the fortress, all follow-up battle plans will be invalidated. It has to be said that the Dragon God's judgment is still very accurate. As long as the fortress is defeated, the Star Soul world will have absolutely no threatening combat power in a short period of time. Chen Mo nodded and agreed, indeed. However, I'm not arrogant enough to fight alone. This time, as long as all the gods come, I don't need to covertly spread the infection in the area they originally suppressed and purified. It only takes a few minutes to spread to the entire planet. By the time the gods react, the entire control area of the Temple of Heaven is already under my control. Moreover, the God of Light and the Goddess of Luck will also recruit people. They may not help, but just watching them is enough to make many gods dare not do anything. What's more, they can bear to collect some spoils. You must know that the most precious wealth of the gods is often placed in their own space equipment. Every god is comparable to a mobile treasure house. Catch one and post it. If one is killed, the Golden Mountain and Silver Mountain that will burst out can make people feel refreshed. At that time, 2 of their high-level gods will make trouble, and we can easily separate and kill the rest of the gods. Spirit to eternity. But that's only in theory. In the actual process, they are always killed for various reasons. And Chen Mo has been continuously polishing after such a long time. The evolved bastion is a living super-universe life form. It is really suitable for dealing with gods. Speaking of which, from the very beginning, Chen Mo hoped to use this weapon against Dragon God. The Dragon God is a life in the universe, and it is also huge in size. However, compared with the bastion, his proud figure and the energy contained in it are not worth mentioning. The bastion sent his descendants on the road, and after a few months, it just happened to send the Dragon God on the road. The family must be tidy. Besides, on our side, there are actually quite a few gods, and soon there will even be an intermediate god. Chen Mo counted his strength and couldn't help being satisfied. He currently has a low-level god in his hand, plus the sun god and the plague god who surrendered. It is naturally too difficult for them to fight against the legion of gods, but it is more than enough to cooperate with the backhand bastion. Olan is so powerful. I never thought that now, I would have the opportunity to advance to the middle-level god, and I really want to become so powerful. Ash naturally understood who the mid-level god Chen Mo was talking about. Very envious. It's a pity that although her talent is strong, it can't compare with Lan. I just hope that in the future, the gap will not be too large. If in case the master has more and more useful and powerful helpers, then she has the right hand and right arm, is it okay? Thinking of this, she couldn't help but feel a little worried. Master, we can't be strong forever. But the master can. Maybe in the future, the master will meet more and more powerful loyal helpers. Saying that, Ash couldn't help feeling a little sad. Chen Mo, can something that has not happened yet be so resentful? Don't worry, I'll make the best use of everyone here. Besides, Holy Terra has developed so far, where have you not shed your sweat? You, along with the Aaron sisters, and many more of the rest of the mermaids, have played a huge role. There is no need to worry about this kind of thing. The way of evolution is endless. You will follow me and continue to grow. It is easy to break through the shackles of race. Believe me, in a short time, when all the knowledge is sorted out, your whole family can go one step further. Chen Mo said confidently. After all, no matter which race it is, the foundation is the mushroom race. Creep spreads, mushrooms grow, make up everything. The foundation keeps improving. As the other races of the ship, it is difficult not to keep rising. I will definitely work hard. I want to follow the glory of the master and walk all over the universe. Ash smiled and narrowed her eyes. It was a little cute. If the rest of the people saw it, they would definitely be shocked, as they did not have the majestic and mature side of the queen at all. I will also become a high-level god one day. Just like the source, even surpassing her. Unusual, I-720 patted his chest and bragged. The master gave her a strong confidence. In Chen Mo's words, she is extremely trustworthy. If she says yes, then she can. You can, Chen Mo said with a smile. Who would deny that their assistant is strong and capable? As the two talked, the front line of the fortress, the situation of the battle has changed. The terrifying requiem was launched. A black beam of light swept past, and where it passed, there were pieces of warships and the Temple of Heaven Legion in disorder. Floating in space, out of business. This blow was extremely terrifying. It is indeed a super weapon in the Star Soul world. With just one blow, more than 1 million Legion elites were killed. However, this blow did not hit any of the gods. Gods are not huge planets, they move extremely fast. Except for light-speed weapons, it is almost impossible to hit them remotely. For a while, the tense Heavenly Temple Legion, despite the huge loss, relaxed instead. As the bastion enters the charging state, surrounded by a pack of wolves, the hunter knocked out the only shotgun bullet. All the gods sneered. They, the regiment, are the force of this attack. But at this moment, another large space crack opened. More gods in the Temple of Heaven are coming. Chapter 357 Dragon God. Just a big lizard. Full body bastion, unfold. 2 more. What are you doing here? I have full command of this battle. Dragon God was already ecstatic. But after seeing the other half of the gods that appeared, his face immediately turned cold. Boom. The next moment, the terrifying space rift was torn open. An extremely huge dragon emerged from it. When he got angry, the dragon god came directly to the body. At this moment, the space above his claws cracked, and he really wanted to go down with his claws and catch the god who came to follow the follower to death. Director group garbage is really annoying. Seeing the size of the situation, they all ran to pick up the bargain. However, looking at the god of light and the goddess of luck, he didn't dare to do it in the end. HMPH. Booty me 7. He emphasized again. Originally, he was just here for revenge, but when the matter developed to this point, the benefits were already great. Not to mention anything else, just how the other party imitated Nisar's core is a natural benefit. If he can figure out this secret, he can make a fortune wherever he goes in the future. It doesn't matter, it can pull up a much larger cosmic life army than it is now. As for the subsequent siege of the Tianshan Temple by the Star Soul world, these idiots deserve it. Anyway, after packing up Chen Mo today and looting the loot, he left immediately. The longer you stay in this area, the more dangerous it becomes. It's a pity that the bunch of trash behind him didn't understand this, and they were still thinking about grabbing the spoils from him. Everyone has it. Attack. He ordered directly. The elite army of the Temple of Heaven was ordered to charge immediately, and the overwhelming warships also began to unfold. There were huge arms that began to be mounted. Of course, these are atmosphere groups. The gods themselves don't care too much, what they pay attention to is the rest of the gods who are also gods. The crowd formed a group of 10 people, and started to kill the huge and terrifying giant monster from different directions. Let's do it. Chen Mo didn't stop Ash, let her give the order. The next moment, the entire area began to grow gravitational cores one by one. There are also countless gravitational cores that have been manufactured in advance, and they are sent to a distance of 100,000 kilometers around. Numerous ghost cannons are also in place. As long as there are rifts that want to open, they will swarm up, making the rifts distorted and unable to pass through. The entire area is prohibited from teleportation. The gods either flew out, or tried to resist the attack, and then tore open the space with all their strength. Is there such an opportunity? Right now. But none of the gods flinched. Some gods were even so excited that they had already reached the edge of the dark sky. The giant sword artifact in his hand burst out with terrifying energy. He only needs one sword, and he is sure to defeat the black light curtain in front of him. However, the gods that appeared on the other side of the light curtain surprised him suddenly. Get back quickly. It's you, Sun Goda. Pipe pipe exclamation mark quote. You unexpectedly joined Chen Mo. The god holding the giant sword looked terrified. Through the mother star of the sun god, they naturally have a way to know that the sun god is not dead. But the opponent was almost intact, and then stood opposite him, which is completely unimaginable. It is too difficult to make a god surrender. Thinking of the possible abilities behind it, the god couldn't help but feel terrified. He felt that it was a good idea to come to attack this time and say that he had to. However, the closer you get to the fortress, the more stable the space is, and it's too late to escape now. Presumptuous. The sun god looked cold. He actually called out the great divine will. Die to me. The sun god didn't hesitate at all, and rushed out directly, fighting fiercely with the opponent. Terrifying rays of light burst out, as if nuclear explosions were constantly happening. For a time, many gods were a little confused. What the hell is who is attacking whom? Court death. There are more gods rushing up to besiege the sun god, 3 vs 1. Soon, the sun god was overwhelmed. But the opponent has no fear. After all, if you don't die, who would be afraid? On the contrary, because of letting go of everything and fighting without fear, the sun god has a faint tendency to break through. I am the sun. He snorted coldly. His whole body shone with light, and the surrounding space was filled with blazing flames. That's it. A huge shadow approached. With a pinch of the sharp claws, the sun field opened by the sun god was directly shattered, and his own arm was also instantly shattered. As a high-level god, the dragon god is also a life in the universe, far more powerful than ordinary gods. I'm just trying to get your attention. You lizard. Sun god sneered. Around, gods like him, there are 7 more. Giant lizard. Dragon god was taken aback for a moment. He is a majestic and powerful god, and even a powerful cosmic life. When did he get in touch with the lizard? But at this moment, he didn't have time to pay attention to this weak god who offended him. Because, I suddenly felt a terrifying force, which was rapidly forming, as if it had been prepared long ago. He was startled and hurriedly dodged away. Thrust A. A terrifying beam of light spewed out from the thick tentacles of the bastion without warning. The light beam did not dissipate, and quickly condensed into a giant sword. With a light sweep of the giant sword, the 2 gods who were unable to dodge in time directly collided with the edge of the sword, and a terrifying explosion sounded instantly, and the powerful energy directly smashed the 2 gods into powder. The giant sword is too big. Even if it is the edge of the sword, it looks like a mountain when it is pressed down. Mana judgment. Holy calendar opened. Visible to the naked eye, large pieces of flesh and blood disappeared immediately, and then, the metal hard skull, like flowing water, was attracted and swallowed. Compared with the tentacles of the bastion that are longer than the planet, the moving speed of the general gods is simply tortoise speed. These material extraction devices can easily dry up a satellite. However, it was too late. Be careful. The more terrifying materialistic attack can make the gods feel like returning to the original dark forest. The mana heart and Nisir core of the entire bastion burst out with full energy. One sword is enough to kill, a junior god. Ghost cannon, fully activated. Before the dragon god had time to panic, he quickly opened his mouth to remind. And with the emergence of the magic power ruling, a suitable environment appeared, and a large number of evil spirits could be bred. Of course, the bastion is not only capable of such clumsy attacks. There are a large number of cosmic beings, who dodge in no hurry, and are caught by a huge tentacle, and countless suckers on the tentacle squirm. What the hell is a monster? At this moment, gently inhale these huge cosmic beings. The next moment, the bastion brandishing 10 huge swords, surrounded by endless black twisted evil spirits, appeared in front of everyone. For a time, many gods were terrified. This is the complete fortress, the complete calendar area. Chapter 358. The prey enters the cage, just open it up. Magic can judge. One more. Evil. Evil god. The dragon god's eyes fell on the bastion waving its tentacles. The eyes are terrified. At this time, the eyes on the bastion also opened. Tens of thousands of eyes. These are all technologies from Dragon God. It also made Dragon God feel a vaguely familiar yet strange sense of fear. countless wriggling tentacles, huge suction cups, and are obviously abilities from the rest of the gods, but there is no trace of splicing. Seamless. The bastion, which was completely stretched out, looked like a terrifying monster, and a large amount of darkness continued to permeate, and soon it covered the light of the stars. Fear. This is the first feeling of Dragon God. Horrible. This is the feeling of Dragon God after careful observation. Then, he was shocked and horrified. No, how could a terrifying creature of this level submit to you? No, this is actually the race you cultivated. Artificial evil god. As a high-level god, Dragon God has amazing powers of observation and is not as frightened as other gods, so he noticed that a large number of creatures, like green-skinned orcs, grew directly from the huge tentacles of the evil god. Like, conceived from flesh and blood, one body 620. So he immediately had a new guess. The answer is pretty close to being correct. Unfortunately, there is no reward. Instead, it made him even more flustered. Because, as the god who claims to know the slave owners best among the gods, it is not bragging. He has come into contact with many gods who were driven away by the slave owners, and has also absorbed many of them who fled. Coupled with the secret use of minions to collect information, he is very clear about the growth cycle of newcomers in the Star Soul world. Generally speaking, within a year, those who can condense the Star Soul are geniuses. Within 10 years, the one who can condense the Star Soul is a genius master. But 2 months, that's too much. In just 2 months, they have raised terrifying monsters that can fight against high-level gods. What is this concept? He couldn't make a comparison. The first time he heard about the advancement speed of the slave owners in the Star Soul world, he thought it was too exaggerated. As for Chen Mo, this is no longer an exaggeration. No, absolutely impossible, he muttered to himself. Long Kanbaru didn't even know about Chen Mo, and even, because of the information from the gods, he was a little bit timid. But after Dage figured it out, he found that it was only big enough to compete against most mid-level gods. And it is very difficult to fight against one. Unexpectedly, right now, it is enough to instantly kill a junior divine eye. This is exaggerated. It must be a trap. The more Dragon God thought about it, the more he felt something was wrong. If the other party can be so terrifying for 2 months, then it has little to do with the world itself, right? Didn't he live on a dog for tens of millions of years? He traversed the sea of AA stars, rising from his mother planet Jishan, until now, with tens of billions of believers, and among countless life forms in the universe, his name has been spread. What kind of terrifying life form he has never seen before? Well, before today, he thought so. If someone tells him that a slave owner can start from scratch and produce a super terrifying cosmic life in 2 months. This life holds a magic weapon and continuously hatches to produce all kinds of terrible creatures, like an infinite nest of flesh and blood, also has almost unlimited energy. His backhand is about to give the opponent a big punch. But he never dreamed, what the hell, this stuff really exists. Right now in front of him. In front of him, the bodies of the 2 primary gods were almost destroyed. And he himself was almost injured. Not only him, but all the gods in the Temple of Heaven who were present were also shocked. Sure enough, this is a trap. And I, unexpectedly, will become a prey one day. What's even more frightening is that I didn't expect the deadliest part of this trap to come from behind. Dragon God looked around. At this time, the number of gods gathering around him has decreased a lot. As for the other 2 places, the gods who are slowly moving away from here are particularly dazzling. Although these 2 gods were besieged by groups of monsters, they did not suffer any attacks. Among them, the goddess of luck is even more smiling, admiring her beautiful fingernails. For a moment, his heart sank to the bottom. Misunderstanding. Everything is a misunderstanding. I was just bewitched by the Temple of Heaven. Powerful slave owners, you don't want to suffer losses because of this, right? I'm going to lead my men away from the entire star area. The Temple of Heaven is too useless. I will give you all the control area here. We don't know each other, there's no need to continue fighting, make friends, and we can avoid losses. Dragon God's reaction is also extremely fast. Ask him to sacrifice his life. That is impossible. It is even more impossible to sell it. Taking advantage of not causing any damage to Star Soul World, he was going to flee immediately. If it doesn't work, sell these gods. It doesn't matter if you misunderstand or not, don't leave when you come. Goddess of luck, God of light, what are you doing in a daze, why don't you make a move? Ash said loudly. These 2 still want to watch a play. How can this be? Really, you group of insects. It's a great blessing to have you here. Co-authoring is the god of wisdom, who is a fool, and is played around by you. For a moment, the gods who didn't know what was going on were all scared to pee. After looking at Illuminati and Luck, each retorts. The gods in their small circle even made martial arts cards. The next moment, the whole scene was in chaos. Don't worry. Everyone, don't panic. Don't get me wrong. Seeing this scene, Dragon God's face turned green. However, he is an outsider, and when he was single-minded, he was still able to control the Temple of Heaven. Now, it is true that no one listens to him at all, and some people try to make peace. Someone tried to kneel and beg to join Lady Luck. Some people don't say anything, just go straight to it. This is a Temple of Heaven. Seeing this scene, Dragon God despaired. His side was originally the strongest, but in a few words it fell apart. Either turn into fuel in the mouth of the fortress, or join the glorious evolution. You have no third choice. After Ash finished speaking, she directly signaled the gods on her side to do it. In an instant, the scene became even more chaotic. And the most terrifying war machine, the Bastion, also started immediately. The target he wants to kill is Dragon God. As for the other gods, they were all Timotu who were killed along the way. Boom. Magic Judgment. A one-time artifact formed by advanced knowledge, the power is amazing. Click. This time, the Dragon God couldn't avoid it, so he could only fight hard. The terrifying impact caused the entire mana judgment to shatter directly, and the terrifying energy spread to the surroundings, and the life in the universe it touched exploded into blood mist one after another. But Dragon God was blown away and crushed into the planet behind him. The next moment, the planet shook violently, and a mushroom cloud that spread to the entire planet rose. Chapter 359 Joint Attack. Get rich for 2 more. Oh 3. Get out. Boom. Before the dragon myth was finished, there was a brand new condensed magic power ruling, which had already slammed into the planet fiercely. Next moment, the entire planet exploded directly. Hit with all your strength, Starburst. Do not. The Dragon God couldn't believe it. This blow directly caused him to be severely injured. He was proud of the scales that can absorb energy, and their resistance to this kind of attack is actually limited. What's even more frightening is that with such a ferocious attack, the opponent doesn't need to breathe at all. Again, another blow. This time, his incomparably powerful shield was torn apart. A dragon claw was cut off. What's more frightening is that the opponent's attack seems to be extremely restrained to him. I don't know why, but according to his judgment, the damage should not be so exaggerated. The few attacks just now were nothing more than blasting the elementary gods. He grew more and more frightened. Facing the unknown, even high-level gods would feel guilty. Dragon God didn't know that Shenmue had already collected a lot of his genes in order to deal with him. Therefore, he is extremely restrained. Not to mention, the follow-up Dragon God also sent 2 artifacts, one is a dragon scale and the other is a dragon claw. His original intention was to be used by minions to increase their power, and at the same time as a token. Unexpectedly, these things fell into the hands of Shenmue, which in turn became a deadly weapon to analyze him and constantly restrain him. This is the benefit of devouring evolution. Either defeat Shenmue the first time you meet, or run away quickly. Because the more contact you have, the higher the probability that Shenmue will evolve corresponding restraints. Until a crushing situation is formed. Do it. Shenmue spoke to Lady Luck. In this battle, if there is any variable to be honest, it is the goddess of luck. The opponent can choose to save the dragon god, or help him suppress the other gods. Of course, you can also run away cleanly and snatch the god of wisdom away. But what made Shenmue happy was that the other party cooperated very well. The next moment, seeing the goddess of luck making a move, the god of light didn't care at all. For a moment, the roles reversed. It was originally the gods besieging the fortress, but now it has been replaced by the gods plus the fortress, besieging the dragon god. Of course, the goddess of luck and the god of light came over later, and the gods who wanted to take advantage of it all cried. They had just stood by and watched. Nothing happened, and they could even run away immediately when they heard the movement here. But greedy. No one knew that it would be so dangerous if the 3 high-level gods came together. In the blink of an eye, the 2 gods jumped back. Woo. Don't hit, it's going to kill you. Let's unite and fight against the evil god together. Don't run. FK. The gods shouted, but seeing the hundreds of millions of legions rushing aggressively, everyone said it well, and the next moment, they all scattered and ran away. However, there is no way to tear the portal. How to run? The gods have never encountered such a situation. I will never surrender. Kill. The dragon god roared and opened his mouth, and the terrifying speed of light burst out from it, and his terrifying dragon claws that could poison matter into atoms also emitted bright light. With a desperate blow, staring at the attack of Lady Luck, he directly tore open the dark sky of the bastion. Even, a huge tentacle was broken. 13 more giant tentacles, one was abolished. However, what made him desperate was that when the dark sky was torn open, instead of a fragile scene of flesh and blood flying all over the place, what he was facing was still an endless legion. The breath from the portal made flames burst out of his sharp claws. What? He retreated quickly. Behind that, there was a force that terrified him. It's Star Soul World. How to fight this? The opponent's back is in the Star Soul World, and he can't hit him, and he can't run away. Star Soul World, Battle Zone Channel. At this point, the inside is already boiling. The fighting movement on Shenmo's side was really too loud. Planet explosion. The gods show their artifacts. Breath of the dragon god. No matter which one it is a big movement. So everyone noticed. I wipe it. Shenmo boss is doing it. The idiot upstairs, it's Tianshan Temple who made the move. I wonder if Mr. Shenmo can hold it. I hope I can hold on, haha. My legion is already on the verge of a planet of the Jinran race. Cool, me too. Hey, my luck is not as good as yours. My legion has just set off, but my number is 10 times that of yours. I have also purchased a landing spaceship in advance. Log in. What era is this? If you still play this set, my requiem has been fully charged. Crying with envy. You guys are so smart, you all prepared in secret, and I'm the only one who co-authored it, so I really just eat melons. A 0 for Flowersa AAA. Don't worry, I'm just like you. Me too, I'm an idiot. I'm a huge a-hole. +1. Woo. For a time, the entire theater channel was so harmonious for the first time. Unanimously support Shenmo. Some people even sent out more than a dozen blessings in a row, hoping that the Federation would make a move and bring in the super genius Shenmo. The reason was that someone had the foresight and took advantage of Shenmo to hold back such a terrifying main force of the Temple of Heaven, and launched a massive attack. And those who didn't take any action acted immediately, hoping that Shenmo could attract more firepower for a while. Damn it. Brothers, have you found out that someone is selling coordinates on the Warzone channel? All kinds of confidential planetary information in the Temple of Heaven. Very detailed. Hiss. Is that Li Po boss? It's possible. The other party has a response from the Temple of Heaven. Each planet's defense, race, strength, quantity, and even the output of the planet, whether there are relics and special minerals, are all marked. Buy it fast. All of a sudden, many Star Soul Masters who had already rectified the Legion and were in a hurry, immediately started to attack. This information is very expensive, but worth it. Because each one is only sold once. This has been notarized by the trading channel, and it can be regarded as a special kind of national time knowledge. Can be trusted. This information about the Temple of Heaven will not be fake. I'm not selling this. If I want this information, I don't need to recruit people on a large scale and occupy as many planets as possible. Li Po couldn't sit still anymore and came out to speak. If he has the opportunity to pretend, he will never refuse. But the problem is, he didn't do it. For a while, everyone on the Warzone channel became curious. Except Li Po. Who else would spread the word? Certainly, Star Soul Lords may be just surprised by this scene, and then excited. After all, those who have bought the information can now directly attack the desired planet. There are coordinates and enemy information. Very convenient. But this year's newcomers, that is, the Planet Masters, can't hold back anymore. This scene has a feeling of acquaintance. Chapter 360. Shenmo is a good person, he does not bully the poor. Star God. One more. Brother Shenmo. He really, I cried to death, he doesn't cheat the poor. Some newcomers who have been tricked several times were moved to tears. I think so too. I agree. I'm in tears. Mr. Shenmo is so kind. I finally know that we have no money. As long as I lie flat enough, even if it is as strong as Shenmo, don't even try to use me. For a while, many newcomers also fell short. They all spoke. Haha, I just want to see rivers of blood flow. It's all sold out. Mr. Shenmo is awesome. All these information add up to tens of billions. Everyone, hurry up. Coordinates, information, Legion, everything is there. What are you afraid of? Rush. There are also many newcomers who don't think it's a big deal to watch the excitement. They encouraged everyone to leave quickly. For a time, the entire theater channel was full of restlessness. Of course, Star Soul Lords, many, 633, have only heard of Chen Mo's name, and don't know his tricks. So most still disdain. Rush. Chen Mo sells this knowledge. It makes sense. After all, he can't occupy it all by himself. Yeah, I can make another fortune in the end, a win-win situation. It's a win-win situation. We won the planet, and Chen Mo took some information fees. These newcomers are surprised. I'm afraid they don't know how big a star region is. Haha, newcomers, it's normal. I always like mythical masters. No matter how awesome Chen Mo is, it's impossible to attack so many planets at the same time. Hey, I've arrived near the planet, ready to attack. Damn it, Boss Li Po's people have arrived. Also, there are Chen Li, Lu and another well-known Star Soul powerhouses. Grr, I was short-footed. Quote. The Lord of Star Soul suddenly became angry. If others attack again, then he will lose his points, and this is Li Po, he can't afford it. Haha, brother, let's go one step faster. Li Po smiled triumphantly. I'm sorry. Chen Li also smiled, randomly cut out a line of words on the theater channel. He usually seldom speaks, but today, he has to pretend that he is so hot. Thanks to Li Po, they had this opportunity. It's simply picking up planets for nothing, it's exciting to think about it. A friendly reminder, the other dozen or so rich planets are also ours, so you don't have to run away. Luan laughed loudly, and made another stab at the already ugly Star Soul Lord. It's fun to watch people eat. Quickly, say thank you, Boss Li Po. Hey, I don't need this one, you should hurry up, or else the crystal ball will be occupied. 17. Li Po suppressed his smile, waved his hand, and sent the Star Soul Master away like a boss. What's the point of embarrassing these little rookies? Seeing this scene, Luan immediately admired him and praised. Brother Li Po is worthy of being a boss. Unlike us, they all have evil tastes. It's no wonder we can't get such an opportunity. Brother, let's all work together. I just have better luck. Chen Mo wants to send a planet, I have to accept it. Let's not be careless. Hurry up, otherwise it will be a shame if we haven't won the top 10. As Li Po said, he looked at the two of them and laughed. Just like that, the three of them flattered each other while looking at Chen Mo's battle zone. And the entire theater channel, knowing the news about Li Po, can only be envious. Get the news in advance. Prepare in advance. Now there is Chen Mo's intelligence as support. In this wave, no one doubted at all that Li Po was going to make a lot of money. Betrayers, you will not end well. Chen Mo will kill you, it's too late to repent. The dragon god once again resisted the blow from the fortress, but his back was rubbed secretly by the god of light, blasting a bloody hole. He growled in pain, heart terrified, but he forcibly calmed down and persuaded the other party. If the god of light is still hesitant, then the old fritter, Lady Luck, has no hesitation. On the contrary, she stands firm. With her cooperation, Dragon God was severely wounded soon. The moves of the fortress are the strongest attacks. The city Dragon God was also flanked by two high-level gods. Even if he is a life in the universe, he can't bear it. No one can deny the divine will. Join the glorious evolution. As the Dragon God was severely injured, the gods who were fleeing everywhere were unable to resist for a while. Bastion waving tentacles, day knife day children. On this day, there were more gods and spirits who fell than thousands of years combined. Either kneel down, offer your allegiance, offer your heart. Either turn into food. This naked threat resounds throughout the combat area. 0. Chen Mo's legion didn't hold back. Once any god doesn't move and doesn't take out his heart, he will be targeted by the legion. The real damage is enough to make them destroy any god. Chen Mo glanced at the corpses of gods and gods, preventing the destruction of some legions. With the ability of mushrooms to devour and evolve, at this time, even a dead god can get the chance to evolve. These god corpses are extremely precious treasures. The gods are the pinnacle of a planet's evolution, far surpassing the sun of destiny. From their bodies, there must be opportunities for evolution. And a lot, especially the dragon god, with such a huge body, even if it is directly infected and controlled to make it live, it is still a terrifying battleship. What's more, Chen Mo has been coveting the other party's dragon scales that can absorb energy for a long time. But before collecting the bodies, the Bastion had to play the Requiem one more time. Because the god is so powerful, Even if it is death, his consciousness will be disturbed, and it will remain around, like radiation, permeating every object, and even Feng Zai dare not go there. Like a wave, it fluctuates to an extremely distant star area. If the gods themselves have arrangements, or good luck, then under the influence of their consciousness fluctuations, they can be resurrected and returned. Chen Mo must thoroughly cleanse the consciousness fluctuations in this area, in order to prevent the possibility of the gods being resurrected and returning again. Even if you kill others once, you can kill them again. But it's not necessary. 0.9 Holy Terra. After realizing the complete demise of the dragon god, Chen Mo turned his gaze to the core area of AA, the Temple of Heaven. At this time, there are waves of infections on almost all the planets of the Temple of Heaven, and they have begun to set off. After several days of setting up, the harvest time has finally arrived. More and more planets are completely occupied by Chen Mo, and he becomes the star soul of one planet after another. Feel the power surging in the body. Chen Mo slowly opened his arms. Exclamation mark, exclamation mark. Suddenly, he seemed to see the world of Star Soul. It is the law of the world. Because of this astonishing record, the laws of the world came down. Chen Mo once again gained the incomparable attention of the law of the world. With this exciting one, Chen Mo has also been promoted to the Star God realm. At this moment, on the terminal watch, a large list of reward information from the Federation has been ignored by him. From the Federation has been ignored by him. From the Federation